Meet Natural Cycles, the only FDA-cleared and CE-marked birth control app that's 100% natural, hormone-free, and side effect-free. Here's how it works. The app analyzes daily changes in your body temperature to find your fertile window, so you can plan or prevent pregnancy naturally. Natural Cycles is a clinically proven, non-hormonal birth control option that's 93% effective with typical use and 98% effective with perfect use. No synthetic hormones, just science. And if you're ready to start family planning, switching from preventing to planning a pregnancy is as easy as tapping a button. Plus, the Natural Cycles app makes tracking fertility easy. You can measure your temperature trends using an Oura Ring, Apple Watch, or our Bluetooth thermometer, which is free when you sign up for an annual subscription. Join over 4 million registered users who are taking control of their fertility naturally. Save 15% when you sign up with code RADIO15 at naturalcycles.com. That's Radio15 for 15% off today.
Presented by T-Mobile, the official wireless partner of Odyssey Sports. With an awesome network and great savings, there's never been a better time to join T-Mobile. Visit your neighborhood store to make the switch today.
Running a business can be exhausting. Building your website shouldn't be. With Wix, you can express your ideas, give direction, then leave the heavy lifting to AI. From site creation to branded content and images. Have fun with the details. Customize what you want the way you want. And manage your whole business from a centralized dashboard with expert AI tools. Build, scale, and enjoy the incredible results. You can do it all yourself on Wix.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right. Not that most men need help to piss off their wife, but in case you do, just forget her birthday, Valentine's Day, or forget your anniversary. Case in point, a woman threatened to divorce her husband after he forgot their anniversary for the third year in a row. And in an effort to ensure their divorce, he told her that she was overreacting and should relax. Yeah, have fun with that, buddy. Now, a different man, he drove 12 and a half miles away from a highway rest stop before realizing that he'd left his wife behind. And yet another guy, he forgot to walk his daughter down the aisle at her own wedding. Now, understand, he walked down the aisle. He just forgot to escort his daughter. He had to run to the back of the church like, oh, crap, right, sorry, baby, come on. Now, look, people forget things. We all do. Sometimes it's a date or a minor detail. Sometimes you forget, I don't know, to lower the bed of the dump truck and slam into an overpass like a guy in Florida. Or you forget that you should take your seizure medication, but luckily, a dog that's not yours alerts you to the fact that you're about to have a seizure. That happened to a guy in Virginia. Or maybe you're Nick Cannon, father of 12, and when he was asked recently to name all of his kids, he couldn't. He got to 10, and then he's like, I can't remember the last two names, man. Not a good look. But like I said, we all forget things, and that's what our question is all about today. Brought to you by our friends at Advanced Hair Restoration. We want to know, what's the most embarrassing or important thing you've forgotten? There you go.
Big Brother Big Show, call 206-803-ROCK. Like KISW on Facebook, follow us on X and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
Meet Natural Cycles, the only FDA-cleared and CE-marked birth control app that's built around your body. The Natural Cycles app pinpoints your fertile days by tracking shifts in your temperature, so you can plan or prevent pregnancy naturally. It's easy to use. Simply take your temperature in the morning with our free Bluetooth thermometer included with our annual plan, or sync with your Oura Ring or Apple Watch. The app analyzes your data and tells you daily whether it's a fertile or non-fertile day. Natural Cycles is 93% effective with typical use and 98% effective with perfect use. But beyond effective birth control, the app helps you understand your body and cycle better than ever. And unlike some period tracking apps, Natural Cycles provides an advanced data protection program to keep your information private and secure. Ready to go hormone-free? Sign up for the Natural Cycles annual plan and get a free Bluetooth thermometer, plus 15% off your subscription with the code RADIO15 at naturalcycles.com.
Running a business is hard work. Building your website shouldn't be. With Wix, you can express your ideas, give direction, then leave the heavy lifting to AI. From site creation to branded content and images. Have fun with the details. Customize what you want the way you want. And manage your whole business from a centralized dashboard with expert AI tools. Build, scale, and enjoy the incredible results. you can do it all yourself on Wix.
Presented by T-Mobile, the official wireless partner of Odyssey Sports. With an awesome network and great savings, there's never been a better time to join T-Mobile. Visit your neighborhood store to make the switch today.
Looking for a dealership that truly cares about you? Discover the difference at Toyota of Bellingham. Here, we prioritize on providing a world-class experience, not just making a sale. Toyota of Bellingham's mission? To build lasting relationships and be your go-to for all things automotive, sales, service, and parts. With a stellar 4.6 Google rating and being voted the best dealership in 3 counties for 4 consecutive years, we're dedicated to excellence. Toyota of Bellingham, where customer satisfaction drives us. Visit our showroom today or check us out online at toyotaofbellingham.com.
Home Hotels, away we go. Welcome to the 20th anniversary season, episode number 4,343. What a large and a charged program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat. Once again, we will be joined by the lovely Taryn Daly and Steve Miggs from the Daily Miggs Morning Show. Time to sit and spin. Today, some of the worst covers in rock history.
Why are we doing that? Why are we going to the worst covers?
You know what? I don't know if you will remember a lot of these.
Really? Well, if they're that bad, hopefully you don't. Right?
I don't think a lot of these stuck. We're not talking about like Disturbed Sound of Silence.
That was a little different. They hit, what, number 1 on the rock chart for that.
Yeah, they sold a ton of copies of that. What else do we've got? Blue on Black.
Right.
The story of Juan Black.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That time in
Kenny
Mexico.
Wayne Shepherd. Who covered that? Avenged Sevenfold? Or was it
Five Finger
Death Punch.
Those aren't on there.
All Along the Watchtower. One of the better ones.
Yeah. To me, though, that is the original.
Even Bob Dylan said, look, dude, that's a Jimi Hendrix song now. Like, yeah, did me.
Yeah.
I would actually say the same thing with Johnny Cash taking Hurt from 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah.
Like, that's 9 Inch Nails. Don't even bother to play it, man. If it ain't the Johnny Cash version, you're not doing it right. Boy, I brought that album home, and it's all covers. And you've heard every song. I'm telling you, to hear that man sing them, I'm just like, this is pretty damn good. My wife's like, you've heard all these, and it's the same lyrics. I'm like, I know, but you're hearing it from a guy who's, about to clock out of this mortal coil, man, and he reflects differently with the same words. It's
look,
great album.
Rusty Cage rocks, but when Johnny Cash does it, it's just a different interpretation.
Yes, it is.
And that's what I like. I like when a band...
And he didn't want to do the album.
When somebody takes a song, it doesn't have to be note for note. I don't want it to sound exactly like the original.
Well, then there's no point in doing it.
And that's what I'm saying. I want it to be, what you would sound like doing this song.
We say that. And then we're about to do what we're doing today, where most of these people, I believe, interpret it the way they want to. And you go, okay, maybe next time you play it note for note. Maybe you stick a little closer to the original because you're terrible.
Yeah, like Knocking on Heaven's Door, Guns N' Roses.
I hate that song.
It's just one of those songs where, it's not bad.
But why? No, you know what the worst one they did as far as covers go? No offense to Guns N' Roses.
Live and Let Die.
God almighty. That is such a bad cover, man.
Yeah. But it used to be a rock band would do a cover song on just about every album. I mean, if you look at the Van Halen catalog.
That's all they did.
Pretty much. I mean, there's like 2 or 3 on each album.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Fair Warning, not as much, or Women and Children First, but almost every other album. I guess 1984.
That might be their first album where they did not put out any covers, and it was their biggest album.
But these are the 10 worst classic rock covers of all times, coming up at 4:30. And today on the question, we're going to talk about things that you have forgotten. They could have been really important, but either way, I mean, embarrassing, important, you forgot.
Yeah.
And when you forget, that's not good, because depending on the situation...
Someone is mad or puts you in a very uncomfortable bind.
Correct.
And
we start with Nick Cannon. And during a recent appearance on the Really Good podcast, he was asked to name all 12 of his children.
Look, I don't care who you are. I don't care how many kids you have. Just from a parent's point of view, I just feel like you should at least remember the names of your children. And it's not like, like when I was growing up, my mother called me by my brother's name. She called my brother by my name. I get that, but at least she got the names right. She never said Jeff and Gregory. It's like, no, you still got Tracy or Stephen and Adrian, right?
He whiffed. He could not get this done. He had no idea. To be fair, he admitted right off the bat that he usually gets in trouble on this question.
Yes.
So he said, man, yeah, but man, it's your kid. There's the 12 days.
It's your kids.
But on Big Dummy, you ask, 12 days of Christmas questions.
Yeah.
And people feel like idiots for not being able to get it.
And it's an irrelevant song. This is not your child. You're not. Put it this way. The writer of the 12 Days of Christmas would not be offended or hurt or reconsider their relationship with you because you can't remember them all. Your kid, it doesn't matter if you have 100 kids. Your kid's like, Dad, You
also,
should know my
look,
name. And the names are stupid.
You helped come up with a name of a human being on this planet, which, to be honest with you, is probably the most homework and thought in my adult life that I've done.
And I ended up in my wife would get mad at me, and I wasn't trying to be difficult. I just said, look, man, I'm a guy, all right? So no matter what name she came up with, and like any couple, unless you have one you're guaranteed to pick, you run through like 20. I need to picture. So she would say a name, I would instantly come up with a negative rhyme. And she's like, why do you do that? I said, because that's what they're going to live with.
Yeah.
I'm not being mean, but so a couple of names, she would get really frustrated and just said, like, I'm not even going to suggest that name anymore. And I'm like, I like the name, babe. I'm just saying, man, when they get to junior high in particular, if your name rhymes with anything, this is what the kids are going to say.
Now, with parents, okay? Now,
hey, the only thing I could say in his defense.
With Nick Cannon.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds, I hate that podcast, I hate that girl. But I only know a couple people with that many kids. The other was the football player, and he couldn't remember. Maybe it's tougher than we think.
Okay, but here's the difference.
That's a lot of kids. Like
Cromartie? Is it Cromartie?
Antonio.
Had all the kids, right?
Yeah, the guy played for the Jets.
Now keep in mind, I cut him a little more slack. One, I think he actually had more kids, but two, he was trying not to have kids. He got a vasectomy. He made it a point, like, I'm not trying to have more kids. And then it's like, baby, guess what? I'm pregnant. We're having more kids. So, not that it's good, but I go, okay, you weren't even trying to have these kids, man. So I'm sure when she said, what do you want to name them? He's like, whatever's left. But with Nick, he makes it a point to point, I love having lots of kids. No, I support him on that. Good. You got the money to do it. Knock yourself out. Remember their goddamn names.
Did you have parents that would call you the wrong name, or
they call me by my brother's name, and she still does.
Okay. So my mom would call me by the wrong name all the time.
So my mom and dad, like my mom will still screw it up. That's fine. But now I've gotten to the point where my brother sometimes will reference me as his son. Just because he's an adult now, too.
You're his son.
Like, just, because my nephew, CJ, and, like, sometimes it'll just be me and Chris, and he'll be like, you know what I mean, Siege? And I'm like, no, I don't. It's Ted. It's your brother. But that never happened until CJ, now that he's in his 20s. Somehow, when you got to it.
But it's bizarre. My mom
I do it to my brother, too.
What do you call your brother?
I think I've called him CJ before.
You call your own brother, but you've known him your entire life.
I know. I don't know how to explain it.
What is it about CJ that's like I can substitute for anyone in my family? Dear dude, call him CJ.
Oh, God.
I don't know. I just know that I have confused it now that my niece and nephew are adults and done the same thing. Like, I think I've called my niece my sister's name before.
Jesus.
Same thing. Well, just like, because they're both just like, what? You know what I meant.
You know, that might be the best thing about having a boy and a girl, is that you're not going to really screw up the name.
No, it doesn't matter. My mom used to call me Natalie. I mean, she would go Nick Nat Sunshine Miles. I'm like, Jesus Christ,
Sunshine.
You got everybody but Dan.
Everything that lives in the house.
Right, anything that's walking, you're going to give me this name. Now, you guys.
I will say, as a kid, I was like, come on. As an adult, it's like, I don't know. I get it. People got a lot of stuff in their head.
Well, my mother doesn't care anymore. So even when I call her, she knows that it's me because it says it on her phone. She'll still answer the phone and say, hey, Andrew, whichever one you are. That is literally her response. She doesn't care. It's just that one of her sons is calling, and I go, good enough.
See, I don't make this mistake with my kids. I was called the wrong name so many times. It's one of those things.
Relax, Natalie.
Right. You know when you grow up with something that just pisses you off to the point where you're like, I'm never doing that?
Yes.
I will forget everything else. I am not going to forget that. You know, like I am no brain surgeon. Like, and I've told this story before, and you guys were present for it, but when we were moving out here, we all moved out first. We stay in this. We still see the apartment.
You can see it right there.
You can see it right there.
There's 3 buildings in front of it.
This is bad.
Yeah, it was real bad. Okay, so I'm going out with this girl, and I talk her into moving out here. Now, she lived her entire life in Baltimore. She did not want to leave her family. She did not want to move out here. But she agreed to, because, you know what, we got a job, and she's like, you know what, let's give it a shot. Let's find out what Seattle's all about. So her cousin agrees to drive out here with her.
The non-lesbian?
3,000 miles. Yes.
I was just checking.
Drives a Subaru. 3,000 miles across the country with 2 dogs in the car. All right?
That sucked.
The car breaks down at least 2 or 3 times. Outside of Chicago, and then another time, and I don't know where in the hell they were, Wyoming or something. So it's not an easy venture at all, man. It's been a task, and her cousin is going to fly back one way and go back home. Cousin is her best friend. Mm-hmm. You know, they've been best friends since they were kids. She doesn't want to leave her either. Blah 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 blah. It's like the first night we're all together.
It was.
And we go to the Quarter over here on Madison. And the owner of the bar comes over. And I was like, hey, I just want you to meet my girlfriend, Beth. That was my ex-wife's name.
Yeah.
That was not my girlfriend's name. The woman who just drove 3,000 miles across the country, I called her the wrong name.
Mm-hmm. On her first night out.
At a bar. And then this person who doesn't normally get wound up too much, or tuned up, goes to the bar and starts ordering Yukon Jack. Oh, that's how much I screwed up that night. And I mean, it took months for this not to be hanging. This cloud walked over my head.
It was still over
for
you.
Months.
She just didn't bring it up anymore.
Months, right.
But I will say this.
Oh, my God.
As someone who had nothing to do with it but seated at the table, it was awesome.
It was awful.
Right, and I had sat down at the
No,
table.
it wasn't.
So I
Yes,
missed
it was. It was awful.
Oh, it was a fun night.
It was.
Because
tremendous.
I didn't hear what you said. There's like a whole group of us, right?
Jesus.
I just see the woman you're talking about get up, and again, she just wasn't like that kind of drinker. And she's like, let's go to the bar. I was like, all right. And she's like, let's do some shots. Like, all right. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like you want to shoot some pool? All right. Like, I was like, because
you want to do some cocaine?
I have no idea she's pissed. I'm just like, got a little fire in her tonight.
That's right.
Like, all right, I'm game.
She did have some fire in her.
Right.
God.
And then I think I came back to the table and I was made aware of what happened, and then I didn't want to go finish the game of pool.
Yeah, but you know what, man? It was like, I tried to justify it. Like,
You don't
look,
want to go back
hold
over
on,
the-
Well, no, because eventually it's going to, you know me, now that I know, I don't, like, now I'm on edge because I don't want to say the wrong thing.
So, okay, first, there's a couple
She
things.
didn't move out here
So
for
I-
you, Ted.
There's a couple
I will
things.
say, though, I had never really dated a girl till after this incident, and I have always been deathly afraid to screw up the name.
So, yeah. Well, this, I
babe.
was with my first wife for 10 years.
All right.
And I probably wasn't out of that relationship for more than 2 or 3 at this point. And this is
How long do you need?
dude.
I mean, man,
apparently,
how long?
Apparently,
do you need? You just said you were
longer.
out of it for 2 or 3
Apparently,
years.
longer than that.
God
and
damn,
man. And you know what, too?
And it's not that their names are super close.
God, and to make it even worse, here's the thing: they look alike at this point. Okay, so I don't.
We should tell Mike that story.
Oh my God! So they, honest to God, it looks like I just took my ex-wife and cloned her with a newer version.
Oh,
right?
God, okay.
It's that bad.
but with a different name.
It's that bad.
So
So I
Mike-
can't remember.
This is years ago in Baltimore, and my mom lived in the same kind of general area as his first ex-wife.
Okay.
So I know his girlfriend. I have never met the ex-wife. We go in, he's picking up his kids first. His kid, and we get in the car, and he goes, "Not an effing word." What? What would I say?
Well, she walked outside.
So you have a
And I
type.
said, "Don't say a freaking thing, man." I know what's going through your head right now, which is, "Oh my God, is that messed up?" And you're right. Do you know why? Because it's messed up.
You got to type.
Back to Nick Cannon.
Miles of sound.
Yeah.
I mean, when you say you have a type, like, no, real specific. Type.
Right, like
there was
blondes
actually
with boobs. It's like a general type.
I know, dude, there was a woman who walked out of this building. I think it was last
we
week.
all know who our wheelhouse is.
But this woman was pretty much a spitting image of the previous 2 wives, right?
And I stopped dead cold.
And I just looked at him, and it's like, we didn't have to say anything. It's like, take a gander at that I know that you're super attracted to her because she looks just like.
Soak it in, buddy.
Exactly. I'll just stop for a second. I stopped today. Oh, God, this was really, really awkward. I was coming up out of the garage, and there's a woman getting into the elevator. So I look over, and she looked up at me. I stopped walking. I was just like, and I think my mouth kind of opened up a little bit. I was like, oh, hello. Hello, good morning. She looked at me like, "You all right, man?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm okay." Back to Nick Cannon.
Yeah, that idiot.
That the one.
That dumbass. Can't get his name straight.
Hey, you're better off screwing up your kid names than the
Jesus.
girlfriend.
No kidding,
That
man.
would not have been nearly as harsh.
No, because your kids just say I'm the other one. You're like, cool, right? And it's glossed over. Doesn't work that way with wives, girlfriends.
I wasn't mad at my mom for calling me my sister's
And
name.
you got used to
I
it.
was just like, I know.
I promise you this.
It'll take you forever to get there. But
Your
you'll get
wife will never get used to you calling her by an ex-girlfriend's
there.
name.
Oh, no.
Sorry.
No.
Sorry,
No.
Maria. Oh, damn it. Sorry, baby. Sorry.
I couldn't let that go. I couldn't let that go either. I mean, if she's like, Andrew, what's for dinner tonight? I'd be like, wait a minute. this is ammunition. I'm going to carry on me forever.
It was Andrew Pepperoni Nipples.
No, that was Josh.
Okay.
I think, yeah. But they weren't really pepperoni. They're more salami, I think.
That's how I know the guy.
I don't know that I've had a girlfriend call me the wrong name. I've definitely had a girlfriend confuse me. Like for her ex or something. And I was just like, how? Just like she was like telling a story and like, oh yeah, he did this and that. And I was like,
No.
I was right. You know me. I was like, honey, that wasn't me. Like I didn't. I was like, that must have been your last boyfriend. I have never done that or participated.
What's worse, that calling you by the wrong name or inserting you in a story
that you're a part of?
Yeah. I was fine with it. I was like, all right, she has the type.
I mean, as long as it wasn't like Disneyland or something. Like
No.
It wasn't huge.
Yeah. Like the 3 girls I've seriously dated, 2 of them definitely, I don't know. I can't tell you what their types are. But like the one girl definitely, like when I saw pictures of her ex, I was like, that doesn't look that different than me.
Yeah.
So like, you screw up the story, fine.
You know all the guys that my wife's into. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you've had girlfriends before where they have gone out with people, and I always ask you, well, what's her new husband like? And you're always like,
me.
And so I'm just like, you're always shocked to see people that, someone you've been with either before or after has dated. Because half the time it's not like my first 2 wives that look exactly the same. That is the oddity there. I mean, when you see those people,
it's odd to us.
Who they've gone out with, you're like, how the hell did I get thrown into that equation?
Then you ask yourself, am I the one that made sense or do I make the least sense?
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
And where am I in the good
Am I
looking
the curveball in this?
Am I the rebound? That's what you're asking yourself.
Yes.
I like to think of myself, it's like let's try something new.
Like the special on the menu.
Correct.
Yeah.
I've been to the restaurant.
Some of them were taller.
It's not going to be around the menu for
darker
long.
pigments, right? It's like, let's try one of these white guys.
Okay. So the ones that Nick Cannon failed to name, his 2 youngest, Beautiful Zeppelin.
Her first name is Beautiful?
Beautiful Zeppelin.
Is that implying that she's fat?
I don't know.
I just feel like if I have a Zeppelin or Blimp
and
or something like that.
Her mother is Abby De La Rosa. And then there's Halo Marie, who he had with Alyssa Scott. Now, Cannon blamed his need to procreate on a king complex. He said, quote, black men, we always be like, what's up, king? I really think that I'm a king. Either way, it sounds to me
I'm black. I don't feel that way.
Sounds to me like Nick Cannon probably is not done having children.
No, but he's appropriately named.
Nick Cannon?
Yeah, I'm just saying, man. It is right there.
It's loaded.
What's the most important or embarrassing thing that you have forgotten? 206-803-ROCK.
Why are more women than ever choosing Natural Cycles? The hormone-free, side-effect-free way to take control of your fertility. Natural Cycles is a birth control app that uses your temperature to find your fertile window. It is more than a basic cycle tracking app. Natural Cycles is the only FDA-cleared and CE-marked birth control app and has helped millions prevent and plan for pregnancy naturally. Save 15% when you sign up today with code RADIO15. Learn more at naturalcycles.com.
It's time to turn your daydream into your dream job. Wix gives you the power to turn your passion into a moneymaker with a website that fits your unique vision and drives you towards your goals. Let your ideas flow with AI tools that guide you, but give you full control and flexibility. Manage your business from one dashboard and keep it growing with built-in marketing features. Get everything you need to turn your part-time passion into a full-time business. Go to Wix.com.
Presented by T-Mobile, the official wireless partner of Odyssey Sports. With an awesome network and great savings, there's never been a better time to join T-Mobile. Visit your neighborhood store to make the switch today.
Looking for your next great getaway? Discover Burlington, Washington, the heart of Skagit Valley. Nestled between the Cascade Mountains and the Salish Sea, Burlington offers scenic trails, beautiful parks, and outdoor adventures. Explore charming downtown boutiques, enjoy farm-to-table dining, and visit nearby U-Pick farms. With stunning views, cozy lodging, and easy access off I-5, Burlington is the perfect place to relax and explore. Unforgettable memories await. Start now at visitburlingtonwa.com.
Get set for summer adventures in a new Ford and get thousands in savings and special APR offers with employee pricing at Kendall Ford of Marysville. Marysville. We're down to the final weeks of being able to buy like a Ford factory employee. Don't miss the savings, like over $11,500 off MSRP on a new 2024 Ford F-150 Crew Cab XLT 4x4. And get 0% APR. Need more room for the family? Get into a new 2024 Ford Expedition XLT 4x4 and save over $10,200 off MSRP. No matter where your summer fun leads, enjoy the drive in a new Ford. Get in on the savings with Ford employee pricing before these deals are gone. Stop by Kendall Ford of Marysville today. Kendall, let's start something great.
VIN number 1FRKF 18183 and 1FREA 90321. Zero down payment, financing and approved credit, all factory rebates subject to change. Price does not include taxes, title, or license. A negotiable documentary service fee of up to $200 may be added to the sale price of the vehicle. Subject to prior sales, see dealer for details. Offer expires 7/7/25.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. Text the guys at 206-803-ROCK from the Pinky's Plumbing Studio. You're in the men's room.
Our question, what is the most important or embarrassing thing you have forgotten? 206-803-ROCK. We brought you the story a couple weeks ago. They say if you're boarding an international flight, gate agents check to make sure that you got your passport. Well, evidently, they don't do the same for the crew members. As a United Airlines flight that took off from L.A. to Shanghai had to return to California because the pilot forgot their passport.
How deep in the flight were they before he realized this?
2 hours. So basically it became 4.5 hours by the time the guy turned around. So either way, now stuck 6+ hours when they got back to to Los Angeles. So our question, what is the most important or embarrassing thing that you've forgotten? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Austin. Welcome to the men's room. Hola. So what's the most important thing you've forgotten there, Austin?
To talk?
Hey, guys. I just wanted to say it's an absolute honor and a pleasure to be a part of this show. I've been a long-time listener, and I'm very fortunate enough and thankful to be a part of the show. You guys have brought a lot of joy and comfort for me when I was on deployment underway, and made my day better, you know? You guys make me laugh all the time, so for that I appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Brian.
Good, man.
That's really nice to hear, man.
Yeah, we never meant to do that.
I know. It's all part of the plan, though. All right. So, back in 2008, I was on a school trip to England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. It was part of the school trip I went on, and my mom lent me this really nice, it was like a Kodak digital camera. It wasn't super high-end, but it was her prized possession, of course. And, it had hundreds of pictures from all the countries and everything I went and saw. And come to find out, last day of the trip, we're on the train ride to the station at the airport, and guess who forgot it right on his seat after he got off the bus?
Dude.
So all those pictures, thankfully, other people had pictures, and they were able to print them out and copy them and give them to me and my family. So
okay, well, that's your take. Like, hey, guys, thank you for taking these pictures. But what about your mom? It's like, great, we got the pictures. Where the hell is my camera?
Oh, she was pissed, of course.
Yeah, that's right.
She's more pissed about the camera. It was probably like a $200-300 camera, which was a bit more back then. But yeah, I was pissed about the photos, obviously.
Yeah, wow. And one thing I learned, just with kids in general, like, I don't really let them borrow my stuff if it's going to leave the house. Because, like, I remember being a kid. I was just as dumb as they were. Like, you're going to forget stuff. It's just not that important. No matter how many times you reassure your parents, like, I got this. It's 80% true, but the 20%, inevitably, you're going to forget something of mine. So my thing is, like, if you want to take a phone, take your phone. Because a lot of, can I use your phone?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely not. You have a phone, take that. Because here's the thing. When you tell them, if you lose your phone, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. You don't have to get another one. You don't have the money. So when you say that, they tend to remember these things. Like, they get really good about it. But if they have my phone, well, they know I'll replace my phone if they lose it. So I just feel like they're kind of like, yeah, Dad, I lost your phone. Like, this is not cool. This is not cool. Now you're going to cost me hundreds of dollars. You know I'm not going to put you up for adoption, even though I want to. But God damn it, man. So that's what I don't let the kids borrow anything.
Well, as a kid, once a week I go down and visit my dad. And, I look forward to it. There's a beach. There's Disney World, there's SeaWorld, there's amusement parks and all that crap in Tampa, too. So, I'm fired up weeks ahead of time. I'm going to go to the beach. This is going to be great. Yeah. He's got a sailboat. This will be fun. Mom takes me to the airport. The only thing that she did not remember to bring for me, and I was like 9 or 10, was my airline ticket.
Oh, Jesus.
So we get to the airport, and at that point in time, you walk in, you walk up, you got a bag, you get on the plane.
Hey, that's it.
So we're there 20 minutes, a half an hour before the plane's going to take off. So at that time, she could walk me up to the gate.
Yeah.
We get up to the gate. She tries to explain to the woman at the front gate that there's no ticket for me. She left it at home.
Mm-hmm.
Home is an hour and 20 minutes away. Also, I don't have ID.
Yeah, of course. How old are you?
I'm 10 years old.
Yeah.
There's no way you can prove who I am. And she's like, I'm so sorry. He's really supposed to be on this plane. And the woman's just like, we'll find you an empty seat.
Really?
So she takes me down. It was
good old days.
It was Eastern Airlines.
Yep.
They sat me near the front of the plane, took care of me. I flew to Florida. No ticket, no ID, no nothing. They just trusted my mom.
And that's a child.
That she is actually my mom.
Yeah.
Which to me, I'm like, looking back, because I was crying. I was like, I'm not going to be able to go. Mom. What is the most important or embarrassing thing you've forgotten? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Roger. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, how's it going?
Hola.
¿Qué pasó? Well, what happened to me is I met my future wife at a bar one night. We hit it off, and I said, I want to take you out tomorrow. So I took her, put her on the back of my motorcycle, and I drove her home. That way I know where she lives, so the next day I can go pick her up.
All right.
The next day comes around, and I go to the house. I go knocking at the door, and who I thought was her answered the front door. And she walks out, and we start talking. And then my wife walks around the corner, and it's her sister. And I'm looking at her, the girl I'm talking to that I thought was her, and I'm looking at her, and I'm going, okay, this is confusing, because they're like 3 years apart, but they look similar. Plus, I was drunk the night before.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there going, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here now. And they're just laughing up a storm.
Now, were you disappointed or happy that your now wife was the one who was your now wife?
At the time, I really didn't care, but now I was. But after the wedding, I was appreciated who I married.
Yeah,
I get
it.
it.
I was like, at the time, but either one of you will do. Let's see how it
So
works.
the sister was not the best option then?
No. But if my wife wouldn't have walked around the corner, I'd have put her sister on the back of my bike, and we'd have gone for a trip.
You know what, man? You remind me of I have a very cynical way of looking at everything. You remind me of is it Prince Charming? Who's the guy in Cinderella, right? It's supposed to be this great love story. And just think about this. She goes to the ball, she meets this dude, they fall in love, it's going to be wonderful. He doesn't remember what she looks like. He's you. He had to go around with a shoe. That is think about that. This is some big romantic thing. And I'm like, wait a minute. So this guy.
Also, she dressed up for this ball. Normally, she's looking like a housekeeper.
I get it, but you should
still should know what the person looks like.
But he went through the entire town. I mean, he had to go to every single woman in this town going, look, we had a great time last night, man, and I got your shoe. No idea what you look like. Just see if your gnarly ass foot fits in there.
You had sex with someone, and you couldn't even remember who they were.
And also, rats turned into horses. Like, I'm not that upset Prince Charming had to go try the shoe.
But don't, look, that's fine.
There's a lot of weird things that
is fine, but don't call it romance if it's like, I don't know what the hell she
they didn't have
like.
sex.
I know.
You had sex with a woman, and you didn't even know who she was.
But I didn't go looking for her.
I know
both
that.
into each other. If the next day I went in front of the entire town and said, one of you women, I had sex with you, I just can't remember your freaking face. I hope it's you over there to the left, not you. Damn it.
You're going to do the Cinderella treatment and see which one fits the slipper?
Yeah, I mean, you fit the slipper rather nicely. That's you're right. I told you. But this was not a love story.
I've never done that.
My story is that I had sex with this chick. We could not remember. We knew each other from somewhere. It took us, 30, 45 minutes. We finally pieced it together, and then it's like, so how you been? That's actually my response was. But this is not a romantic story. I'm not going to make a cartoon over the fact that I am Prince Charming because I had sex with
if you
asked
me to write down the people that I've fornicated with,
yes,
I'm going to miss.
Don't make it too hot.
I'm going to miss a few,
sure,
without question. But if they were to walk into this room,
are you sure?
I'd be like, hey, How's it going, Beth?
I say you forget one.
No way.
I say you forget
No
one.
way.
If we brought all the women you had sex with into one room.
No way.
Okay, I'll tell you what.
No way.
Even some of the in your 20s.
We'll grab, because we're going to grab a few you didn't have sex with them and put, which ones did you not have sex with? How about that? Here's 20 women. You had sex with 15 of them. 5 of them you did not. All right, but you have to correctly identify just the ones you didn't have sex with. Not the ones you did, just the ones you know for a fact.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to be about 99% on this one.
I'm telling you, you're going to miss one.
No. I mean, if it was down to business.
What do you mean down to business?
You haven't had the drunken nights in your 20s where it's like, I have no idea.
I've done some bad things in an alley with people before. You know what I mean?
You remember that?
Wasn't exactly. Well, I've had sex in an alley, but
I think I remember alley
different
sex
stuff.
more than anything else.
I do. That's what I'm
remember
saying.
you.
I know, Angela. That's what I'm saying. I know exactly when I had sex with an alley. I might not be able to identify her now by her looks exactly, but this was only a few years after you had fornicated with this.
This is true.
So now it's been 30 years. So look, I don't look the same. I'm sure they don't look the same. It's going to be tough.
I mean, she looked about the same. You're going to
look like a version of what I remember.
Yeah. Oh, when I remembered, I was happy.
So am I.
Oh, cool, good for me. But I knew her from somewhere. It's not that I was completely oblivious to who this person was.
It could be that it's not, but it's somewhere. It's not the 7-Eleven.
I remember that.
Royal Farms. What is the most important or embarrassing thing you've forgotten? 206-803-ROCK.
So yes, I'm Prince Charming from Cinderella. Point taken. Hello, Gabe. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola. All right, Gabe, what'd you forget? Your story?
Go for it, buddy.
So basically what happened was we went to Disneyland, right? And there was this roller coaster. It's a really like jerky roller coaster. It moves you side to side a lot. And I have my phone in my pocket. And I usually wear pretty loose pockets with my pants or whatever. And my phone fell out in the ride, and I didn't notice it. So we walked halfway across the park, waited like 30 minutes, and we had to walk all the way back when we realized my phone was missing, and we had to search for it. It was stressful.
Yeah. Well, losing your phone, especially in a park.
Did you actually find it?
Yeah, we found it.
Okay. And how does this work?
On the phone right now.
If you lose it at a park.
He's on the phone right now, dude.
Do they slow down not slow it down, do they shut it down for 5 minutes or something for you to get it off the track, or is it like, come back when we're closed?
No, it got stuck in the cab of the roller coaster, so they had to check the roller coaster to find it.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. But at least you got it back, man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Many a lone phone at an amusement park, like, bro, they ain't getting that one back.
I went down to visit family down in California. We went to Six Flags. We were just spending the day down there. And I remember at the end of the day when I got home, I was looking for my wallet at some point for something, and I realized I didn't have it in my pocket anymore. I just had a pair of mesh shorts that was
Uh-oh.
I knew for a fact. I couldn't tell you with 100% accuracy, but I knew 99.9%. I know that it was in the go-karts that we had ridden while we were down there. Because I knew that it had vibrated out of my pocket. It had to have been, because I remember I had it at this point, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. I also remembered that we were the very last run of go-karts that went on that day before the park closed down.
Right.
So, I can't call anybody because the place is closed up. We get up, we go out there early as F the next day. We are the first ones in line, and I sprint to those go-karts, and I kid you not, I found it in the seat in there and got it back.
It's still in the seat?
It was still in the seat. They had to pick it back up. It was a black wallet, so it melded in with everything else in there.
All right.
But I was able to just grab it and find it right back.
That is a good thing.
So, when I lost my wallet in Vegas, so the guy took me. My phone. When I lost my phone in Vegas, it was a cab. Or it was an Uber.
It was an Uber, I think.
Whatever it was,
it was Uber.
He was doing something different the next day.
Yeah.
So he was like driving for a limo company, or it was not the same deal. But I was able to get a hold of him, and he's like, "Look, I'm doing something different today, but I'll be in that area around this time." Blah blah blah. So I went and got like $100 out or whatever, because I was just going to give him some cash. And he pulls up, and there are some big dudes. in this car, and the windows are all blacked out, which is not unusual. It's Vegas at times.
Sure.
I get the deal. Window rolls down, man, and there's a guy in there. I mean, he looks like he's there to make sure that, you know, whatever needs to happen is going to happen. And so I take out my money out of my wallet, and I give him and I have like 20, 40. I give him $40. And he looks and he goes, I was like, $60. He's like, okay, $80. Here's $100. And my wallet comes through my window. Because at first I just took the whole wallet out of the wallet.
Yeah.
20, 40.
Oh, he knew you had more.
He could see it in my hand.
Yeah.
So he's like, no. Come on, keep it coming. I was like, 60. He's like, keep it coming. I was like, 80. He's like, no, one more. Sons of bitches.
And they leave, and he's snickering to himself like, I got $100. And
Well,
I'm like,
I think he actually had to drive a pretty good way to get there. So I didn't mind that much. I got my phone
I would
back.
throw, if you had just had 40 in your hand.
I know
you'd have
that.
taken 40. All right, you would have been fine.
Yes.
But now that I see the option.
You have $100, so I know, and you want your wallet back. I would like $100. This is an easy
exactly.
negotiation.
Yeah.
By the way, somebody popped up on the text line talking about Prince Charming, I guess. Is Prince Charming specifically Cinderella? Or is he like everything?
Yes. Yeah, he is.
All right, who kissed Snow White or whoever woke her ass up? Well, I thought that was Prince Charming.
Well, they're all princes.
I know.
But there is one specific Prince Charming.
Well, either way.
I'm almost positive Cinderella is Prince Charming.
Okay. Well, look, I've always been convinced the brother had no idea who the hell he was making out with or whatever at the ball, and that's why he had to put the shoes on the feet because he couldn't remember what she looked like. According to this texter, he's not quite as awful as I thought. It says, guys, the whole reason Prince Charming had to do that was because all the bitches, and that's a quote, in the city were like, no, it was me. So he had to use the shoe to prove who it really was.
Correct.
So you're saying he knew who it was. He just wanted to prove it. So my question then would be, all right, for the sake of time, why don't you start with Cinderella?
Right.
Like it's her.
It doesn't change the fact that he still didn't know for sure.
Right, he didn't know.
But also,
for certain.
I can't believe we're having this argument. But
Because
remember,
it's ridiculous.
She is always the frumpy
Yes,
sister
she's a
that's
house
never
girl.
allowed out of the house. She's
Yeah,
basically
I know.
the maid.
I get it.
So then everybody is like,
The town doesn't even know her.
right. So everybody's just like, no, it had to be her, So he's like, well, I could prove it. Because they weren't going to believe him.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
What if
that's
he
the
just
thing.
went to Cinderella first, and I'm telling you, it's this frumpy broad over here. Puts the shoe on her and says, we're done, right? But he went through everybody.
Well, to Ted's point, he also didn't know where Cinderella lived, and her stepsisters and stepmom were keeping her away so that they could get in on the prince.
Correct. Your shoe size is not unique just to you.
It's not though.
And number two, who
Well,
wears
it's a
glass
fairy
shoes?
tale.
This is stupid.
The rats
The whole
turned
thing's
into
stupid.
horses.
Yeah.
but
The sisters were
somebody else
carving up
says-
their feet to fit in the damn thing.
Prince Charming did not do the rounds around town himself. Another texture.
He paid somebody.
He sent servants around to do it.
Okay, also, if I'm Cinderella, I'm out. You can't bring your ass out here to come and see if I'm the one that fits in the damn shoe?
Wait,
send them to go find
You're
me.
telling me you're frumpy ass Cinderella. You've been locked in this house.
Yeah.
These bitchy ass sisters, the horrible mom. You're going to turn down Prince Charming because he didn't show up himself.
Know what you're worth, Queen.
Yeah. Jesus. You'd have been a little Jiminy Cricket and Cinderella. Hey, know what you're worth, Queen.
Know your worth, girl.
Our question, what is the most important or embarrassing thing that you have forgotten? 206-803-ROCK.
Presented by T-Mobile, the official wireless partner of Odyssey Sports. With an awesome network and great savings, there's never been a better time to join T-Mobile. Visit your neighborhood store to make the switch today.
Looking for your next great getaway? Discover Burlington, Washington, the heart of Skagit Valley. Nestled between the Cascade Mountains and the Salish Sea, Burlington offers scenic trails, beautiful parks, and outdoor adventures. Explore charming downtown boutiques, enjoy farm-to-table dining, and visit nearby U-Pick farms. With stunning views, cozy lodging, and easy access off I-5, Burlington is the perfect place to relax and explore. Unforgettable memories await. Start now at visitburlingtonwa.com.
From summer plans to summer projects, it's truck season at Kendall Chevrolet of Marysville. From towing your toys to pulling up to the perfect camping spot to loading up a truck bed full of supplies for that next project. Take on summer with a great deal on a new Chevy truck that's up for anything. Right now, you can save $8,500 off MSRP on a new 2025 Chevy Silverado 1500 Custom Crew Cab 4x4. If you need more truck for the job, step up to a Chevy Heavy Duty. Save $6,500 off MSRP on a new 2025 Chevy Silverado 2500 LTZ Crew Cab 4x4. Chevy, together, let's drive.
Get in on the summer savings at Kendall Chevrolet of Marysville. Stop by today. Kendall, let's start something great.
VIN number SG312 766 and S120 2522. All factory rebates subject to change. Prices listed do not include tax, title, or license. A negotiable documentary service fee of up to $200 may be added to the sale price of the vehicle. Subject to prior sales, see dealer for details. Offer expires 6/30/25.
Running a business can be exhausting. Building your website shouldn't be. With Wix, you can express your ideas, give direction, then leave the heavy lifting to AI. From site creation to branded content and images. Have fun with the details. Customize what you want the way you want. And manage your whole business from a centralized dashboard with expert AI tools. Build, scale, and enjoy the incredible results. You can do it all yourself on Wix.
Fun fact, you can't get pregnant every day. You're only fertile for 6 days, ovulation day and the 5 days leading up to it. Natural Cycles is the only birth control app that can pinpoint your fertile window by analyzing your hormone-driven temperature trends. It's more than just a basic cycle tracking app. Natural Cycles is the only FDA-cleared and CE-marked birth control app and has helped millions prevent and plan for pregnancy naturally. Save 15% when you sign up today with code RADIO15. Learn more at naturalcycles.com.
Presented by T-Mobile, the official wireless partner of Odyssey Sports. With an awesome network and great savings, there's never been a better time to join T-Mobile. Visit your neighborhood store to make the switch today.
The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
What is the most important or embarrassing thing that you've forgotten? 206-803-ROCK. This is a crazy story out of Virginia. But it ends up being okay. So a shelter dog made quite an impression at an adoption event in Virginia earlier this month. Now, she is credited with alerting a man that she'd never even seen before that he was about ready to have a seizure. Okay? So Sienna is a 3-year-old lab and pit bull mix and has no known training in detecting seizures. Right. So this gets crazier. Now, she was moving between booths at a church yard sale, June 7th, when she pulled the volunteer Jackie, who's with Friends of Campbell County Animal Control, who's walking her, toward a very tall man. Apparently, this behavior is not normal. So, she was rescued as a stray on the streets in Virginia and ended up walking right up to a guy named Josh Davis. This guy is 6'9". Damn. So, the dog puts her paw on this guy's leg. It was at that point that Davis's wife realized her husband, who has epilepsy, looked like he might have a seizure. He'd forgotten to take his medication that morning. So he forgot to take his medication. He's almost going to have a seizure. Now, Davis, he's got this thing, a VNS implanted in his chest. So seizures can still happen even with that. So with Sienna's prompting, he went to his home around the corner from the church and just chilled out. If he had not calmed down, even with the VNS thing he's got inside of him, he was very likely to have a full-on convulsion seizure. His wife says he was ready to take Sienna home right then.
Yes.
But the couple already have 3 dogs and are unable to care for a 4th. So the shelter actually had a flood of adoption requests after revealing this dog's skill. But Sienna ultimately went to a Roanoke woman who filed the application first.
All right.
Before the seizure event. So she gets access to this dog and can take the dog. Turns out she has a son with epilepsy.
Come on.
Yeah. And apparently, since they adopted this dog, Sienna has not left that kid's side since moving in on June 13th.
What they don't know is the kid hates her. No, but I mean...
yeah, but that's crazy.
That's kind of wild.
Did a dog just know? I mean, I think dogs know a lot of stuff.
Sure. I mean, they smell things, hear things, whatever. Actually, my son, we were watching, he's on My Name is Earl Kick right now, right?
Oh, all right.
And, I haven't seen it in years, and actually, it is a very funny show. So we're watching the show, but it's about 11 o'clock last night. He's laying on the couch. Dog's kind of laying on him, and his stomach growls, and the dog freaked the F out. Dog jumps up, like, stares at the stomach, thinks like something's growling at her. And so she's staring at him. We're like, dude, his stomach growled. And she relaxed again, but, I mean, she popped up out of nowhere, and he's like, what did I do? I said, your stomach growled. She was half asleep. She just hears a growl. Oh, yeah. So she's looking at his gut like, I will kill whatever is there. Jesus. You just let me know.
That's all you did.
I didn't say she's smart, but we do love the dog.
And Jamie Presley's never bad.
Oh, man. Yeah, listen, dude, I forgot she was on. Her character is fantastic, but boy, she's easy on the eyes. real.
Do you guys ever
really
forget your anniversary?
I have not forgotten my anniversary. Now, that said, I've forgotten to get a card, but I have the presence of mind to at least say happy anniversary before I go to work, and then I can scramble over to the store and get a card. And my wife always knows, like, this is a janky-ass card. I'm like, look, I got your card. We both not remembered at some point at work. But I do remember the anniversary.
Right.
That's
well, see,
very
the anniversary was, my anniversary was the yellow flower incident.
Yes.
Okay. But here's the thing. Now, when I woke up that morning.
That was on our anniversary?
That was anniversary flowers.
I always thought that was Valentine's Day.
No.
Does it matter?
It does, because on Valentine's Day, at least you have the excuse of maybe the red roses were sold out.
Okay. Yeah.
As opposed to being like, I don't know anything about
They
roses.
just didn't. They all looked like they were at the end of their rope. For whatever reason. Just the red roses look like ass.
Sure.
Now, keep in mind, this is in the QFC. Okay? I am coming home after the show at 6 o'clock. Most of the florists, they're closed. They're the Ballard, they're 9 to 5.
Would you have gone to a florist for flowers? Like, look, man, if you want flowers,
I would have.
I'm going to the grocery
maybe
store.
I would have ordered like a nice box. You know what I mean? Came in, put it in the refrigerator at work, whatever
All
the deal
right,
is.
all right.
Something like that. But she did not say happy anniversary that morning.
Okay.
Okay? I realized it when I was at work. So when I got to work, I was like, oh, man, it's our anniversary. Now, as I'm thinking right now, I don't know if I can remember the date. I think it's August 25th.
Don't know.
I know
don't
it's
need to
August.
know. I know it's
August 25th.
I think is how I remember the date.
I'm pretty sure that's the date. Okay, but that was my thing about that whole night. So I got her the yellow roses. I give her the yellow roses. I say happy anniversary. She freaks the hell out. I am 100% positive that because she never asked, are we going to dinner? Are we? Because I did not.
Oh, that she forgot?
She forgot.
Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, that's the thing about an anniversary.
But
There's a list of reminders
But she
for
gave
the
me
month
nothing.
leading up.
It's not her job.
Or
to
she
give me
was
a
letting
card.
to see how, or waiting for you to say something.
Come on.
Feels like a
She didn't
trap.
have anything back. Is she supposed to?
Ted, I hear
See,
what you're
this
saying.
is the problem.
But
I
you
couldn't-
also, your spell. Like, my wife would never challenge me to see if I remember this anniversary. Like, she wants to make sure I remember. So a month out, you get little.
Your
little
wife
crumbs.
would. I'm just saying, they're different people.
They are.
And I could see his.
So what is
walking him and like, I'm gonna wait till he says something.
What are they supposed to give you? That's the thing I couldn't prove.
A card.
Because thank you.
Right. That's it. That's the
That's
extent.
what I got. I got a card and flowers. Yeah. She went off on the color of the flowers, but I'm still in the back of my mind thinking like, all right, what do you got?
Mm-hmm.
You got anything? No. Like, what do you got?
Did
And
you
she,
ask?
She never had anything.
Uh-huh. So
I also,
you think she was feeling guilty about forgetting? Then you show up with these flowers, and now she can use that as the ruse to be angry and dump it on you.
Also, I cannot remember what day this was. It was like a Monday or a Tuesday. It was like one of those days where you're just not thinking about it.
Sure.
So when I got to the QFC in Wallingford, they had lobster tails. So I bought a couple lobster tails, bought some baked potatoes, bought a salad. You know,
All right.
so I'm prepared to eat dinner at home. She didn't have anything. Not a reservation, no suggestions on dinner, no card. I'm thinking to myself, you forgot. This is a cover-up.
I would agree. If she didn't even have a thought of where to go for dinner, then it had not crossed her mind. Because one thing you can count on, she might set you up for a million things, but if it came down to it, they'll tell you the restaurant they want to go to. That, there's zero,
Exactly.
zero
Exactly.
question about, like, fine, you got me these yellow roses, let's go to. I mean, just instantly. I could call my wife right now and be like, where do you want to go for our anniversary? Bip, bip, bip. Done.
She'll name it.
Yeah. I mean, she's not even thinking about
But
it right
we
now.
never had the conversation beforehand. So we never.
Then she forgot.
That's what I'm saying.
She absolutely forgot.
Are we doing anything on Monday? I never heard that. So when I realized it at work, I was like, oh, man, I got to get some flowers. Again.
Which anniversary was it?
Oh, God, I don't know. Yeah. I got married in 2007.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Separated in 2016.
Okay.
So sometime before
Somewhere
there.
in that window, right there.
Yeah.
I mean, but it was,
I like that. In that window, yes. Between
Yeah,
the
somewhere
time
in that
you're
window.
married and
Yeah, I mean,
separated.
I don't know.
9 years.
Hell if I know. But I remembered. I did remember.
You did remember.
I did remember eventually. That was the most important thing.
I always, as best I can, I just try to remember crap. the day before, just because I always go to bed later than everyone else. So it's like, all right, if I can just sign this damn card and leave it at the computer, because that's the first place she's going to go in the morning, I win no matter what. I do, because I'll wake up those mornings. Keep in mind, that morning I wake up, I completely forgotten what day it is, but I took care of it last night, right? So I get this big warm hug and a nice kiss from the wife going, oh, thank you for the card. Then, that's right, I did sign that card. It's your anniversary. That's what it is.
Exactly. I think the worst one I had is I forgot my brother's birthday once.
All right.
But that's not a big deal. Your brother, you can call him the next day and go, sorry, man, I got busy.
Yeah. He wasn't super pleased.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But it was like a Saturday. It was a Saturday. I mean, I can remember like it was yesterday. It was a Saturday. I had clearly been out way too long the night before. And something to do with work, right? I don't know. It was like a bar appearance or something. So I just got up and just rocked through that Saturday, right? Like, oh, screw it. Just get up, go to this bar appearance, blah, blah, blah. And then like the next day, right, I like talked to my mom, like, what'd you guys do last night? Like, well, your brother came over his birthday. I was like, oh, no. Right. Yeah. Now, my dad, there was one year I finally called him. Mine's kind of hard to forget because it's Christmas Eve.
Sure.
But same thing. I called him. It's like 6 p.m. my time. It's like 9 p.m. his time. I was going to call.
No, you weren't.
I was like, you sure about that?
Yeah. Jesus.
Right. It's like, it's 9 p.m. on the East Coast. Like, what were you waiting for?
Right. They say when married couples mark another year together, whether it's their first or the 30th, it's a milestone. And that's why many spouses commemorate their anniversary with a special celebration, whether it's dinner, weekend trip. And I guess this was the expectation for one woman who on Reddit appears to believe that recognizing a wedding anniversary is a reflection of how things are going in the marriage. But her husband of 8 years, not on the same page, when he forgot their anniversary for the third year in a row.
Oh,
and she eventually got divorced.
Come on.
I can say, you can forget that one, and you'll hear about it for as long as you are married. But 3 in a row, like, brother, that's bad.
Just say you don't care.
Well, throughout their 8 years of marriage, the woman said there have been ups and downs like any other marriage, but recently she feels as if their relationship has faltered. Lately, it feels like he stopped putting effort into little things that matter to me, the woman admitted. Case in point, forgetting the anniversary 3 times in a row. Now, when her husband first forgot their anniversary, the woman gave him the benefit of the doubt, attributing his slip-up to a busy work schedule.
Stupid.
Following year, she made sure to remind her husband about their anniversary weeks in advance. He still forgets. Now, on the actual day, he didn't even mention it. The woman said she was in disbelief. We had a big argument, and he promised he would make it up to me. But when their 8th wedding anniversary rolled around, he let her down yet again. This year I waited, hoping things would be different. But once again, the day came and went without a word from him. No card, no flowers, not even a simple happy anniversary. Now, since his wife was upset and disappointed, she decided to communicate her point of view. But her husband dismissed her concern. He acted like it wasn't a big deal and said, it's just a date. Why does this matter so much? She saw his disregard for their anniversary as a disregard for their marriage in general. That was the last straw. I feel like he doesn't care about our marriage. And if he can't be bothered to remember something as important as our anniversary, what does that say about our commitment? So she threatened to divorce him, which caused her husband to accuse her of overreacting and being petty.
Look, it's one of those things you just have to accept certain things in life. Your anniversary date, whatever it is, completely arbitrary and 1,000,000,000% irrelevant. However, it means something to someone else. Like, it has no impact on your marriage. It has nothing to do with your day-to-day. It does not help your finances. It has nothing to do with your future. It has nothing to do with anything other than it's been imprinted on this other person's mind that it's important. So for that reason alone, and so that you can sleep in your own bed, remember, I don't have a problem with my anniversary, but after we say happy anniversary, we're kind of done, because the truth is, like, we still got to deal with the kids. We got to do this. It means, it sounds harsh, but essentially it means nothing. It's just another feather in your cap to mark the years. It's the ring in a tree, right? But understood that it is something that you want to value. So you go, okay, all right. So all of that said, a couple texts comes in and says, my husband has our anniversary and my birthday on his phone so that he remembers. An entirely different person. Dudes. Well, of smartphones, set reminders on these dates and have them repeat yearly with the reminder.
Sometimes those dates
the
change.
Day before, but here's the beauty of what they're saying, though, is this is the admission. I don't want to say we don't care. It's not that we don't care. It's just not super important. But the fact that it's like, right, set it on your smartphone. Ladies, just let that sink in from our point of view. We're not saying it's not important. It's not that. We want to remember because we don't want to piss you off. We get that it's a big deal to you. But we have to set a reminder because it's, from the guy's point of view, if this does not help or hurt or move things forward or take care of this, take care of that, then it's irrelevant. You know, because the truth is that it is. But that said, we're not without romance. We understand, yes, this date is the day we're going to celebrate. I mean, that's essentially what an anniversary is. This is the day we're going to celebrate the fact that we're married. We mark it off by the year. But in the scheme of things, as a dude, you're here to problem solve. If this does not contribute or take away from my issues.
Hey, you're not wrong, but also, I don't think it's that a lot. Like, look, I'm not going to remember every date. Sure. I'm probably not going to remember the date I met you, but like, I feel like the anniversary, it's like, well, that's part of being in a relationship that matters to them.
I'm not arguing. But that's my whole point. As a guy, we don't care. If it doesn't solve or start a problem, that doesn't mean anything. But I understand the other side of it finds it important. That will cause a problem. Yeah, I'm just speaking truth.
Right. Find the solution to the problem that you keep forgetting a damn day.
This is truth. This is honesty. But I understand it is important to you. So we will make sure we celebrate it on this day. But other than you being upset, what impact does this have?
Right. I do see your point.
It does not pay my mortgage. It does not take care of my kids. That's where my mind is.
Right. Like I see what you're saying.
Yeah, take care of it.
If it didn't mean as much to the wives, we wouldn't be celebrating the anniversary.
No, we do it every day.
Right.
We celebrate our marriage every day. Mm-hmm. So I understand you picked this date. Well, we picked the date when we got married, but like in the scheme of things, it does not help or hurt. Based on what my concerns are to take care of the family. It only affects where I sleep that night. Right. And that's why we set a reminder.
I had a super early flight.
Yours is pretty easy to remember, though.
That's why actually, we picked the day before.
Yours.
Oh, and
right. Well, that's why I was like, knowing yours, because what is that called when like the numbers all match up?
I don't know. It's 777. So you can't. What?
So that's how I know Miles is in August of 07. Yes. Right.
I had one of those.
Well, I will say, though, selfishly, like I remember I had that boxing match in 08. Mm-hmm. So sometimes when I have to remind myself of like something that happened the year before, I'm like, start with the boxing match. That was 08. Okay, what were we doing the year before?
Okay.
I mean, but because that date,
because you trained so much. I mean, to lead up to that. So I took
and I'm not married.
I took a week vacation.
I have a picture of me in the ring hanging in my home that has the date on it. If I was married, I might have to take that photo down and put up a picture of us.
Absolutely would.
I just put one next to it.
Yeah. I took a week vacation and early flight out of Painfield and Everett. So it was like a 6 o'clock flight. It was early. So I'm kind of groggy getting there. Anyway, I think I went down to San Diego or wherever the hell I went for a week, right? I think I went down to see my kid. So I did not pay attention to the ticket I bought. I drive to Painfield. It's early in the morning. I do remember just getting on the flight. Like with Painfield, you can just kind of blow through. Right. I had a carry-on bag, whatever the deal is. I got on the plane. I fell asleep. All right. So I'm flying back from San Diego. And I land, and I'm looking for my car. All right. And typically what I'll do is I will take a picture of the parking spot.
Right.
So I know where I parked my car. All right. So I land at SeaTac. Okay. And I'm looking for my car. And I walk out into the garage. And I'm like, I think I'm on the 3rd floor. I'm not sure. It's got to be here on the 3rd floor. Do you know how big that parking garage is?
Yes.
It's large. It is large. I'm walking around everywhere. I look back at my itinerary and I realized that when I booked that flight through Alaska Airlines, there's an option that says SeaTac or similar airports. In other words, I forgot I had flown out of Painfield. My return flight was into SeaTac. My car is in Everett. I'm walking around a parking garage. I totally forgot that I flew out of Painfield. And then I'm like, oh, God, I am an idiot. So I had to take an Uber from SeaTac all the way to Painfield.
How much was that Uber?
Jesus Christ, it was like $150. And the traffic was awful that day.
Of course.
It took forever to get up there. And I'm like, I cannot believe that I am that stupid, that I did not realize at any point that I had 2 different airports on the same trip.
But I feel like those things are easy to overlook. We went to Delaware last year. We got a rental car. No big deal. We parked downtown, little beach town. We parked downtown, and we specifically paid the parking. All right? I remember, so my wife's out there doing the thing because it's all apps and all this garbage.
And they are on it.
They are not effing around there. Seriously, they are really, really on it. And parking's at a premium, right?
Correct.
So we got a really good space, too, dude. You'd have been proud. We were maybe like a block away from the boardwalk. It was
nice.
We got super lucky. We paid for the parking. So the next day, there's a ticket on the windshield of the car. I'm looking at my wife. We're eating lunch at this point. She's like, "We got a ticket." I said, "For what?" And so we go through this thing, and basically the place that we paid for parking, they put a ticket on the car. So we get a little pissed, and then I'm like, this is easy to resolve. I crumpled it up, stuffed it in my pocket. I said, we're not paying this. We already paid for parking. That's on them if they can't figure it out, blah, blah, blah. About 3 days later, my wife's, "Hey, what'd you do with that ticket?" I said, "Well, it's in the trash can in the bathroom." She's like, "You need to get that." I'm like, "I'm not getting it, man. We're not paying them. We paid for goddamn parking. That's how it works." So the thing we forgot is, my wife is so used to punching in our Washington State license plate, right, where you put it all in the app.
Oh, so your car didn't match up?
No, it's an entirely different car. It's an entirely different license plate. And it's only like a $40 ticket. It's not the end of the world. But I was just like, God damn it. And she goes, "Look, man, it's just because it's habit." And that's part of the reason I hate the apps with parking. Not that we have rental cars much, but in that case, like, look, if we could just put money in a meter, it doesn't matter who's parked there. You're good. Or, whatever it is. But with the apps, you type in your license plate. She typed in the Washington State license plate. So we could have parked it there, except it's 3,000 miles away. Meanwhile, this dumbass rental car that we had, I'm like, you gotta be
I park in those places so rarely.
With the app things?
Yeah. Like, I don't even know my license plate. Like, I gotta.
I'll get it on my phone.
I got a photo of it on my phone.
Yep.
Same thing. Or if I check into a hotel, I'm always like, hang on, let me walk out there and look. Right? And like, it depends. Like, usually hotels, what's going on, but like
if you're parking there, they will ask, right?
Right. So like in the last year, I had to go down to like Oregon once a month for something. But the town I was in outside of Portland, there was a big McMinimans there.
Okay.
So when I would go down in the winter, it was fine. But in the summertime, they had concerts. So they were like, you need your great, because like people will park here just to get over to that concert.
Why does the walk from the hotel desk back to my car to put the little piece of paper on the dashboard? Why does that piss me off so much?
Just because your trip's basically done, you arrived.
Checked in.
Yeah,
you
just want to be done.
Like I'm way out there, man. Like I'm not even close to the hotel, but I'm still in your parking lot. I gotta walk all the way back there. Like this sucks. Yeah, I don't know why it does.
Well, on the
it's
same
one of those
token,
little things in life that just agitates the living hell out of me.
It does. But then once you put it in there and you check in and you go to like the place around the corner to get a bite, that beer tastes great.
Yes, it does. It's like you telling me I got to walk all the way back out to my car again? Jesus. What is the most important or embarrassing thing you've forgotten? 206-803-ROCK.
Why are more women than ever choosing Natural Cycles? The hormone-free, side-effect-free way to take control of your fertility. Natural Cycles is a birth control app that uses your temperature to find your fertile window. It is more than a basic cycle tracking app. Natural Cycles is the only FDA-cleared and CE-marked birth control app and has helped millions prevent and plan for pregnancy naturally. Save 15% when you sign up today with code RADIO15. Learn more at naturalcycles.com.
Presented by T-Mobile, the official wireless partner of Odyssey Sports. With an awesome network and great savings, there's never been a better time to join T-Mobile. Visit your neighborhood store to make the switch today.
Looking for a dealership that truly cares about you? Discover the difference at Toyota of Bellingham. Here, we prioritize on providing a world-class experience, not just making a sale. Toyota of Bellingham's mission? To build lasting relationships and be your go-to for all things automotive, sales, service, and parts. With a stellar 4.6 Google rating and being voted the best dealership in 3 counties for 4 consecutive years, we're dedicated to excellence. Toyota of Bellingham, where customer satisfaction drives us. Visit our showroom today or check us out online at toyotaofbellingham.com.
What's the secret to feeling your best? Strong, rested, and clear. At an Elements Massage Studio, it's personalized, therapeutic massage care. Our skilled massage therapists craft every session to fit your needs, helping you reset, recharge, and relieve stress. Your reset? Your element. Your best night's sleep? Your element. And now, enhance your experience with purifying, relaxing facials that take self-care to the next level. Book today at elementsmassage.com and feel perfectly in your element.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. from the Pinkies Plumbing Studio. You're in the men's room. Text the guys at 206-803-ROCK.
Men's Room World Tour rolling on. Saturday, July 19th, we'll be in Bremerton at the Tracy Tun Movie House.
Bremerton?
Bremerton from 2 until 5. The Men's Room IPA will be there, the 20th anniversary lager, as we say cheers to 20 years. All that from Black Raven and Men's Room Beer Brats from Mooley's, as we got a brand new location, the Tracy Tun Movie House in Bremerton.
Are we going to see any movies?
5. I don't know. Ted says they got video games. They got all the
they got an arcade.
All ages event, by the way.
I will be in the arcade with the kids.
Nice.
All right, seriously, my wife's booking this thing for Orlando, right? Universal Studios or whatever. We're going to the Splash Park, and she goes, hey, I already know your answer to this. Do you want to go to the go-kart track? I'm like, yes, absolutely. Sign me up for that, man.
Yeah,
I will be there the entire time.
Now, have you guys ever thought, on our question, what's the most important or embarrassing thing you've forgotten? If you could have everything returned to you that you have forgotten someplace, left someplace.
Oh, yeah.
Just spaced out, you know, and you don't know where it is. You probably don't even know you have forgotten half these things.
I suppose it's like the top of my head, because your important stuff, like your wallet, your phone, keys.
This is like a really cool hoodie.
Kinda,
this is like a, you know.
I mean, I can tell you right now, in Milwaukee, I left my 05 Army-Navy koozie, and I'd had it since 05. I had taken that thing across, like, to London. I mean, I had traveled everywhere with that koozie. And there was times I thought I lost it and had to call a hotel, and they were like, we found it. But in Milwaukee, of all places, yeah.
Do you know where?
I do. They have, this was right, the year we were there was after, I want to say after, like, Giannis had won a title.
Okay.
So they kept showing everything, that they call it the Deer District, right? It's the Milwaukee Bucks.
Oh, right, okay.
So it's kind of like Power Plant was. You know what I mean? It's one of those places that has, like, built-in bars. It's by the arena, so you can, like, watch games and stuff.
Sure.
And we were in there, and one of the, like, event spaces they had was a wedding. And basically, there was just a bunch of people, and they were, like, it was just like 4 of us, and they were, like, we're on the other side of just, like, a rope. And these 2 guys and their wives were just like, what are you guys doing? And we're like, we're just kind of in town. They're like, for the baseball game? We're like, nah, we're just in town. And they're like, do you guys want, like, what's a beer? So we're like, yeah. So they just start buying drinks because they're in the wedding. It's free and handing them over.
Oh, nice.
And somewhere in that exchange, I mean, I sat it down for a minute.
Sadly, I'm trying to think of all the things I've lost. The thing that I'd want to get back is probably Ted's hoodie that I lost down at the Gorge.
At the Gorge, yeah.
Sorry, man. And you said don't lose it.
The quickness of the fact how quickly you lost that thing.
I know.
You didn't even have it on for an hour. Hi, man, I lost the hoodie.
What? Already. So I've lost other people's things, but I haven't lost a lot of my stuff.
It was a nice zip-up hoodie. But, I mean, remember, another person that used to work here ended up getting me another one from that company.
Oh, did I? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't feel so bad now.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of losing other stuff.
You know what sucked, man, was going, Council and I went to see Soundgarden at the Gorge, however many years ago it was, and the wives were like, look, don't get too messed up. But they said all the things that they have to say, knowing full well we weren't going to listen. So my wife had said, by the way, I packed up the tent for you. Cool, babe. Thank you, man. You're aces. And I get there, and I just cannot figure out how to set up my tent. Like, in my mind, I'm like, what? Why does this seem so freaking difficult, man? I know how to do this. Castle pops his up in no time. It was just the rain flap.
The rain fly out?
Yeah, so I called her. I said, babe, the tent's at home. She's like, oh, God, right, yeah. Forgot to put it in. So I'm like, look, don't worry about it, man. I'll figure this out. We go see Soundgarden, and as Castle and I want to do, copious amounts of all things. Well, the good news is it didn't matter because we forgot where our campsite was. We wandered through that. I mean, we ended up partying with a bunch of people like 3:30 in the morning. And keep in mind, the whole time we're actively looking for our campsite. Neither of us can remember. We're both half walking sideways, you know, that drunk walk. There's a bunch of people in the tent. They may have been doing some things. They had some booze. Hey, you guys want to hang with us? We're like, yeah. So we partied with them until about 6 in the morning. Now the sun's coming up, and we're in bad shape.
That's a rough walk.
God almighty. And the thing that sucked about it, so the sun comes up, and, you know, people start clearing out. When enough people clear out that we can find a campsite, we were maybe 2 rows away. Yeah, it's one of those deals where people packed up, and Castle, he taps me and points and goes, there it is.
Yeah, but you've walked in the wrong hotel.
Yeah, it was bad.
I'll tell you, here was a bad one. Here was a bad one for me. This was not a good look at all.
I've been on the wrong floor in Vegas.
Yeah, I got lost in the Grand Ole Opry Hotel. So, day of yard work, right? And I mean, like, we were moving mulch, doing all this crap. Ended up going to Chupacabra.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Mexican restaurant up there on top of the hill on Finney. And so we're sitting in a table, and my hands are just starting to swell. It's one of those things, and I've got my wedding ring on, and I just pull off as hard as I can because my hands are swelling, and this is tight.
Right.
And this is starting to hurt. And I remember exactly where I put this. There was a bottle of hot sauce on the table. I think it was ones that they made. I put the ring on the top of the neck of the bottle of the hot sauce.
Makes sense.
Okay? It took me a long time to go back and remember exactly how I did this. So about a week goes by, and my wife, we're sitting someplace, and she goes, I have to ask you, are you just not wearing your wedding ring anymore? And I'm like, oh, God. I really am not wearing my wedding ring. Like, I didn't even dawn on me. And I'm like,
but you had left it there?
I didn't even know what I did with it. It took me that long. So, I mean, I'm beating myself up for hours. Like, where did I put this thing? Like, I could not remember what I did with that ring. So I'm backtracking. Like, did I wear it yesterday?
Right.
No, this is a week back. This was a week. I didn't wear it for a week. But she had kept noticing. Like, okay, when are you going to put that ring on?
Yeah.
So, like, I drive up to Chupacabra. And I go over to that table. Of course there's no ring.
No.
So I'm looking around like there's a couple people like to see if they moved the bottles to different tables. Because, like, maybe you didn't even see it on there, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just still wrapped around the neck, one of these hot sauce bottles. Could not find it. That was a $200 mistake.
It's not the worst cause. Actually, I couldn't tell you where mine is now. We got tattooed on our ring fingers, right? So my wife says, hey, let me have your wedding ring. And she puts it with her wedding ring. And so the idea is we already got the tattoo, and then she's going to put the wedding rings wherever. So we're having this conversation with some friends, and they're just asking about the tattoos. And I'm like, well, it's easier than a ring. You don't pull them off. You don't lose it, blah, blah, blah. So I look at my wife, and I go, hey, man, where did you put the rings? She's like, yeah, I don't know. I'm like, what? She's like, I don't know. I know that they are together. I put them in, like, this little bag thing. I said, well, where did you put the little bag? She's like, I don't know. And as all human beings do, I put them somewhere that I wouldn't forget.
Correct.
Once you put that into your brain, you're going to forget. If I've learned nothing else in my life, once I tell myself, the follow-up line is, so I won't forget. It is a guarantee that I'm going to forget. Because anytime, and I do it to crap at home, like, I'm going to put this here so that I won't forget. Just put it in the normal freaking place, right? Because then when you ask yourself, what did I do with blank? I don't know, but I know I put it somewhere that I won't forget. But I've forgotten where I won't forget.
What's the most important or embarrassing thing that you've forgotten? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Murphy. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello.
Hola.
Hola, Kimosabi.
So what did you forget?
Okay, so it's like 1985, and as everybody else was doing, I was doing cocaine. so I,
as people do.
So I needed to get some beer so I could come down enough to go to sleep so I could get up to work the next day. And,
oh, criminy.
Hello.
I go down to this.
Hey, man, your phone's breaking up, bro. Your phone.
I get my beer.
All right, try again.
Hear me?
Yeah, we got you now.
Okay. What did you miss?
Most of it.
You needed to go get some beer, so you're on your way to the store.
Yes.
So I get to the store, I pay for the beers, I walk back to my house, a couple blocks away, and take out the packet to go do some more cocaine, and it's not in my pocket. And I'm like freaking out for more than one reason. And so I figure, well, maybe I dropped it at the liquor store.
Oh, phone dropped
And he's
out.
gone again.
And he's gone.
Okay. Yeah.
That's tough to go back to the liquor store. Hey, guys, seen any cocaine?
It's one thing, I've never forgotten where I've placed any narcotics, but I've certainly lost narcotics. To his point, it came out of your pocket, and that is so... I'd rather forget where I put it, because then there's a chance I can remember, as opposed to saying, I lost the bag, fellas. Everyone's going to be pissed, right?
That's
Like,
why,
I don't know. It
that's
fell
why
out of my pocket.
road travel bag is different than airplane bag. So I'll go to Oregon a lot.
Sure.
That's a different suitcase than the one that I take on a plane.
Oh, yeah.
I
And
know
the reason
somebody
is-
who's forgotten that.
And the reason is because I have traveled with things that I didn't realize I was traveling.
Yeah.
And that was like this is a Vegas bag. You know what that means?
Oh yeah,
that's trouble.
That's a separate bag.
That's trouble.
I actually know somebody who they had to move their dad from the house he'd lived in forever into the whatever home that he was going to. So he's helping him unload everything, and he ends up in his main office there, and he's got a big old gun safe in there. And he's taking things out, and most of these guns that he's got in there have cases, or they've got some sort of a case that they belong in. But he said that there were these two little revolvers that they were sitting there loose inside the damn thing. So he says, screw it, and he throws it into his bag, and he forgets about it. That's what he forgot about. And then he ended up having to travel at some point, so he goes through the airport, and he's a regular travel. He's got TSA pre-check and all that, so he usually just flies right on through. He goes through there, and all of a sudden his bag starts registering, and we need to get it for additional screening. People are staring at the computer screens. Like, it's not just a normal thing where they push off to the side. It's like, wait a minute, what's that right there? Like, people are freaking out a little bit. Turns out that, he forgot to unload said pistols out of the
Oh, they
bag
were loaded.
No. They were still in it. They were
He
loaded
did
in the
not
bag.
unload the gun itself. Right, okay.
And they ended up putting him in handcuffs and walking him throughout the airport. Made his flight, by the way.
He did.
Still made the flight.
Okay.
So
All right.
they said it happens.
Can you go back and get your gun?
They can mail them to you. Yes, he said
that doesn't sound like it. Yeah, stick that on my front door.
Yeah, right. He said the problem that they have is that it happens more often than you think. The problem is that we know that you're not going to do anything with it. We know that you're just stupid and you forgot it in your bag. The bigger problem is that now that line that you waited 45 minutes through, we have to shut that thing down, get everybody moved over to a different flight, or a different line. So now people are missing their flights, and
So,
that's
sir,
where it creates the problem.
you're okay, but everyone in this airport hates you.
Yeah.
I know that.
I forgot. Like a wooden, it was like a bowl you'd smoke weed out of, right?
Yeah.
So weed had been legal in Washington, but there was a metal piece in it. To this day, I don't know how it got through, but same thing. Like I land in Texas, go meet my brother and my buddy. We're in Dallas, and then later that evening we go up there, and I'm like, holy S. Like, I still have this, like, bowl on me. And I'm like, how did it get through security?
It's amazing. I did that before weed was legal, and a bunch
for
of
the
us,
record, I left it in Texas.
a bunch of us are flying to San Francisco. We all go through TSA. I don't give it a thought, and we land in San Francisco. It's early in the morning, so we can't get into the hotel yet. So the first thing we do, there's an Irish pub near the hotel. Let's all go there. We're like 10, 12 of us, whatever. So
Yeah, great bar, actually.
Yeah, it was fantastic. So we sit down. We're having a good time. No one's getting outrageous. But when the bill shows up, we're all going to split the bill. No big deal. I open my wallet, and there's that unsmoked joint just sitting in the back. And I'm like, oh, S, man. Because, again, this is pre-legal, you know. And I'm just like, oh, my God. So my wife immediately is like, how did you sneak that through? I'm like, I didn't sneak S. I'm like, babe, I forgot. It was in my wallet. And even if they'd said, what's this joint? I'd have been like, obviously you planted it there. No, it was mine. So we're trying to figure out where it came from. I don't remember specifically, but all I had to say was, we played a show last night at the casino. She's like, say no more.
Yeah.
People just hand you all these dry. I guess I smoked everything else. But the nice thing about it was we suddenly had a joint right outside of that Irish pub.
What is the most important or embarrassing thing that you've forgotten? 206-803-ROCK.
So you see, Ted, I was a hero in the end, you see.
Yeah, I
mean...
Well,
hell, man, I know you're worried. That's basically... I'm like, oh, my God. Because I'm looking at this just going, I cannot believe I got that through. I'm not trying to. That freaks me out. And one of the gentlemen we were with was like, instead of worrying about it, man, light it. I'm like, that's... It's actually a good
There's
idea.
just some irony in, like, to me, weed is just, like, I don't consider it, like, a hard drug.
Yeah.
But it's the easiest one to detect between smell, whether you're smoking or not.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I know people that have sneak crazy things through. But, right, it's easier, right? It's like, I don't know. You could sit around drinking hard liquor all day. I might not notice, depending on what you're just doing shots of.
Right.
But if I have one beer and show up, you can be like, you smell like a brewer.
I know.
It's like, all right, yeah, you're right. I had a beer.
I've been drinking vodka all
Especially
day.
an IPA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, Brock. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola.
So I got two of these. I'll tell you the real one, the story that I told Mike. But there's another time in Reno that I lost my car on a drunk binge and found it later in the evening. But the reason I was calling was this was 30 years ago. I was going to school at Central Washington. I was making some extra money on the side by selling blow, and I had roommates too. So I used to have to try to hide it from them so they wouldn't
steal it.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah. So anyway, one of the places I would hide it, it was back then in the 80s where you'd rent DVDs. So I had rented a DVD. They didn't have a Blockbuster there, but they did have a store. And I hid it in there. I had like a gram all weighed up in quarters. And I returned the DVD, and I forgot to take the Coke out.
Oh, man, you made somebody's day.
Well, yeah, so then I went back, try
to rent the movie again.
Back. Yes, and somebody had rented it.
Oh.
I was worried, too, so it's like I didn't want to find out who it was. So somebody in college got an extra gram of Coke when they rented a movie.
What was the movie that the cocaine was stashed in?
Well, it's so long ago, I don't remember. We used to rent them all the time. So
I said, depending on the movie.
It was a little mom and pop store, and this is probably like 87, 88. So yeah.
Mom and pop probably grabbed your Coke, man. Mm-hmm. And they're going to pop it open to make sure the disc is in there, all that kind of stuff. Like, oh, hey, we're going to have a hell of a night tonight, baby.
Drugs.
Yeah, I mean, when I worked at the first bar I worked at was a really crappy bar. But, like, I don't know. People would leave stuff all the time. But same thing. I remember one night I found cocaine. Like, it's just not my thing.
Right.
Same thing. One of the other bartenders is all like,
I'll take that off your hands.
Exactly. I mean, I couldn't have held it up any quicker. And then I get it now. I didn't get it then. But, like, one of the main bartenders, this dude was super cool, right? He was like a DJ, like, before EDM had gotten really big, right? I mean, his house was set up with speakers and this and that. And I remember one day he just looks at me and goes, No, I'm just doing a shot of gin to chill out at the beginning of our shift. And I was like,
a shot of gin?
Yeah, because he didn't want to smell.
Okay.
And I was like, you all right? He's like, well, no, dude, I played a gig last night. I haven't been asleep yet. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah. Like, it was fine. But that was definitely the guy. It was like, before I could even hold up this bag, he's like, I'll take it. Jesus. I mean, the guy was a legend.
I guess back then it was safer, though, right? Because I feel like if I found a baggie of a white substance now, it could be one of like 7 different things.
Correct.
So I wouldn't even, that's the thing. I wouldn't even mess with it. You're right. Back in the day, you're like, that is cocaine. Now it's like, man, I don't know what it is, but I would not F with it.
What is the most important or embarrassing thing that you've forgotten? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Shelby. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So, my thing I forgot, and I was embarrassed, was we just went camping, my wife and I. We just got back home, unpacked everything, and we got a call from my sister-in-law. She was having her baby that day. So we quickly turned around, drove up. Her and her husband lived in Canada at the time. Drove up there. I got into Canada, got to the hospital, went to reach down. I dropped my wallet, went to reach down under the seat. I realized my pistol was still in there. Oh. So I'm like, oh, no, this is not good. How do I get this back home? And I'm like, first off, how did I get through the border? And second off, how am I going to get home? So
they didn't check your car, obviously.
They didn't check
one way.
No,
but coming back is harder than going there.
Yeah.
So that's the problem.
Absolutely. They interrogate you more like, why did you go to Canada?
Are you one of them Americans?
Yeah, so are you.
Yeah.
So I was literally the typical American right there. So I'm like, oh, my God, am I going to do this? And so what I did was I just pulled everything apart, put the gun in 2 different pieces, put it in 2 different spots of the car as far apart as I could, drove up to the border on the way home, made everything look like it was fine. I told my wife, I'm like, don't sweat, don't say nothing. And we made it through. They didn't pull us over.
Don't sweat. Don't say nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Even when you have nothing on you, you feel. We went there. When the hell did I go to Canada?
I've sweated through the border there.
Well, you pull up. It's me, the wife, and my son at a volleyball tournament. And that's literally it. And like you said, getting into Canada, they're kind of like, great, have a nice day. Coming back, man, they a little more detailed. And there's like 2 other people staring into the car. I guess I look suspicious, and maybe I should. But when they peeked into the car, my kid is sitting sideways, headphones on, not paying attention to everything. In that moment, they eased up. He looked like you're the absolute average.
I took an exchange student from Portugal through the border. with not even a passport.
Without the passport?
No, they didn't ask for them. She had we had them, but they didn't even ask.
Wow.
That's what I said.
Yeah, one of the guys that for the volleyball tourney, he was not thinking about it apparently, but he was running a little late, and the phone call we get is he's like, look, I got my kid, basically there's his kid, like 2 kids from foreign countries with passports, and then 2 other kids that weren't his, but basically he's piling up half this team trying to take him up there. He's like, man, I didn't give it a thought. The other parents, they're tied up with whatever. She's like, sure, I'll bring them. He said, man, getting into Canada, when it's like, hey, who are these kids? In that moment, it's kind of like, oh, crap, man. And these kids, by the way, these kids are 16 and 17. So
okay.
But still, he's like, get out of the vehicle, and and it wasn't a big deal. He goes, look, I get it. I understand security's got to do its thing. He's like, but I'm bummed because in 2 days, I got to do this S again.
And the problem is U.S.
Yeah.
If you're a United States citizen trying to get back into this country, you're treated like you've never been here.
Yeah, like, dude, you see my passport,
It's
right?
insane. Like, I could not. Canada say, ooh, how long you staying? What hotel are you staying?
Yep, I'll get you with that.
How many days are you going to be gone? You're coming back to this date? Okay. That's basically what they need to know. How long are you going to be in the country? Where are you staying specifically?
That is a very big question.
And then on the way back, it's like, what were you doing in Canada?
Yeah, well, nothing.
I'll see your mom.
Right.
You know, go through any, whether it's border force in London, whatever, like, it is odd. Even just going, like, again, then coming back from Germany, watching a Seahawks game, and he just goes, who's your favorite Seahawk? I was just like, what? He's like, who's your favorite Seahawk? I guess DK? I don't know.
You just go whatever.
It's a reasonable thing for him to ask me, but I was like so nervous, like
Franco Harris,
offense or defense?
Yeah, right.
Active or retired?
I don't know. Like I'm not 12. I don't rank my favorite players.
The legendary Franco Harris.
Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice. TJ Hushmanzada.
You know, you're right.
Ryan Leaf.
I might have said something like, currently?
Sean Alexander.
Yeah. Tara Daly, Steve Mix, the Daily Mix Morning Show. Code Double Sit and Spin with the 10 worst classic rock covers of all times. And we got your emails coming up next to the men's room at KISW.com.
Presented by T-Mobile, the official wireless partner of Odyssey Sports. With an awesome network and great savings, there's never been a better time to join T-Mobile. Visit your neighborhood store to make the switch today.
Looking for a dealership that truly cares about you? Discover the difference at Toyota of Bellingham. Here, we prioritize on providing a world-class experience, not just making a sale. Toyota of Bellingham's mission? To build lasting relationships and be your go-to for all things automotive, sales, service, and parts. With a stellar 4.6 Google rating and being voted the best dealership in 3 counties for 4 consecutive years, we're dedicated to excellence. Toyota of Bellingham, where customer satisfaction drives us. Visit our showroom today or check us out online at toyotaofbellingham.com.
Get set for summer adventures in a new Ford and get thousands in savings and special APR offers with employee pricing at Kendall Ford of Marysville. We're down to the final weeks of being able to buy like a Ford factory employee. Don't miss the savings, like over $11,500 off MSRP on a new 2024 Ford F-150 Crew Cab XLT 4x4. And get 0% APR. Need more room for the family? Get into a new 2024 Ford Expedition XLT 4x4 and save over $10,200 off MSRP. No matter where your summer fun leads, enjoy the drive in a new Ford. Get in on the savings with Ford employee pricing before these deals are gone. Stop by Kendall Ford of Marysville today. Kendall. Let's start something great.
VIN number 1FRKF18183 and 1FREA90321. Zero down payment, financing, and approved credit. All factory rebates subject to change. Prices do not include taxes, title, or license. A negotiable documentary service fee of up to $200 may be added to the sale price of the vehicle. Subject to prior sales. See dealer for details. Offer expires 7/7/25.
Why are more women than ever choosing Natural Cycles? The hormone-free, side-effect-free way to take control of your fertility. Natural Cycles is a birth control app that uses your temperature to find your fertile window. It is more than a basic cycle tracking app. Natural Cycles is the only FDA-cleared and CE-marked birth control app and has helped millions prevent and plan for pregnancy naturally. Save 15% when you sign up today with code RADIO15. Learn more at naturalcycles.com.
Presented by T-Mobile, the official wireless partner of Odyssey Sports. With an awesome network and great savings, there's never been a better time to join T-Mobile. Visit your neighborhood store to make the switch today.
We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
10 worst classic rock covers of all time. Coming up, we'll sit and spin with Steve Miggs and Taryn Daly from the Daily Miggs Morning Show. But first, time for a few emails to the men's room at KISW.com.
You've got mail.
2-1 on today's question, guys. I joined the Army in 1976, graduated basic and advanced individual training, April of 77. So I go home for a week and then went to Fort Devens, Massachusetts. My mom and stepdad dropped me off at SeaTac. I forgot my orders showing where I was supposed to be. Had all my gear, plane ticket, bus ticket. Finally got figured out. Plus, I drove a 26-foot U-Haul towing a car from Milton, Washington to Fort Worth, Texas. Drove to Ogden, Utah, the first day, and then proceeded to forget my itinerary for my flight back and my MapQuest the next. The next evening, I stopped in Lyman, Colorado. Fortunately, the hotel I stayed at was able to give me a MapQuest that I could use. Went through those hoops, was able to find a flight back. The flight sucked, starting with someone taking my seat and stuck between two large women. They wouldn't even give me an armrest. Rock on, guys. That from Michael. What was MapQuest again? Was it the thing you printed out? Yeah. Like the itinerary?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we used to get lost, then MapQuest showed up, and that was a big help. And then...
But that wasn't a map. That was just actually where you take a right, take a left, take a right. Like, basically, Google.
Right, it wrote down the directions for you. As opposed to just writing them down yourself or having to call someone and be like, how do I get to your house? Because there was MapQuest, and then for a minute there, it was really big to have the, what was it, like the Garmin?
Garmin? Yeah, Garmin.
Those were big to help you kind of get places, and then everybody...
That was just in your car. Like, if you buy a new car, like, go to...
Yeah, and then just smartphones came so far along, it was like, oh, all right, I guess we could just use directions on our phone now.
Totally forgot about that. Okay, time for a few birthday emails brought to you by our friends at San Juan Salsa Company and their men's room roasted red salsa.
Dip responsibly.
Let's see here. Good afternoon, men's room. Can you wish my kiddo Elizabeth a happy 21st birthday? How about Coach Ted's recommendation on her first drink? Thank you guys for all you do. We haven't missed a show. That from Eric in Portland, Maine. Portland, Maine.
All right. That's a tough one. You're 21. You're in Maine. Man, I don't know. I mean, I feel like you get a Cape Codder. You go down, right down the street there. First drink I ordered at a bar was a daiquiri, but I was underage and idiot. I think you go classic. Get a little Captain Morgan in your life.
All right.
Little Diet Coke. Maybe a little Captain. Look, how about get a Captain and Ginger?
Ooh, all right.
That's an airplane drink.
Nice pick, Coach.
Captain and Ginger?
If they have Captain. That's the wild card. Half the time it's Bacardi.
I feel like on the plane, for some reason, it's always Bacardi.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But if you go to a bar, they have both.
I've done the Bacardi and Ginger. Fellas, I would love it if you guys would give my buddy and coworker Eric a birthday shout-out. He's 58. He has been servicing the Seattle area for decades, fixing and installing ice machines. Perhaps some dad jokes and a fish sandwich, if you would be so kind. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
$2 get a fish sandwich?
Let's see if I got some dad jokes. I think I do. All right.
Get it in there.
Why was Matt Damon out thrift shopping? Why was Matt Damon out thrift shopping?
He was Goodwill hunting?
Goodwill hunting!
All right. Well
Yes! Nice work, Mike.
Guys, by the way, I saw a man smoking in church last Sunday.
Oh, yeah?
Couldn't believe it. Almost dropped my gin and tonic. That'd be a pro move.
That's a bold move,
God. In church drinking. Maybe got a little
flat.
I'm there. I Ubered.
Hey, father's serving drinks. Why can't I have one?
That's right. He's got the wine up there.
Guys, I bought my girl a pug last week, and despite the bulging eyes, the flat face, and rolls of fat, dog actually really likes her.
God, pugs are there.
I've got more since we have time. Did you know there are 206 bones in the human body?
Oh, no.
Or 207 if we go out? All right. See what you're doing. Yeah. Doctor says, well, it looks like you're pregnant. Woman says, oh, my God, I'm pregnant. Doctor says, no, it just looks like you are. Yeah, guy asked, hey, what are your dog's name? I said, Calvin and Klein. He says, isn't that a brand of underwear? I said, exactly. They're boxers.
Nice.
All right. I like that one.
Couple more. I do dig chicks, but necrophilia ain't easy. A man asked his wife, what would you do if I won the lottery? She replied, I'd take half and leave you. Great, he says, I won 12, here's $6.
Later.
And finally, I was building sandcastles with my grandpa that my mom made me put him back in the urn. So.
Oh, no. That's gross.
Yeah. All right, guys, here you go. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Ya's a Dirty Germans brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Meet Natural Cycles, the only FDA-cleared and CE-marked birth control app that's 100% natural, hormone-free, and side effect-free. Here's how it works. The app analyzes daily changes in your body temperature to find your fertile window, so you can plan or prevent pregnancy naturally. Natural Cycles is a clinically proven, non-hormonal birth control option that's 93% effective with typical use and 98% effective with perfect use. No synthetic hormones, just science. And if you're ready to start family planning, switching from preventing to planning a pregnancy is as easy as tapping a button. Plus, the Natural Cycles app makes tracking fertility easy. You can measure your temperature trends using an Oura Ring, Apple Watch, or our Bluetooth thermometer, which is free when you sign up for an annual subscription. Join over 4 million registered users who are taking control of their fertility naturally. Save 15% when you sign up with code RADIO15 at naturalcycles.com. That's Radio15 for 15% off today.
Presented by T-Mobile, the official wireless partner of Odyssey Sports. With an awesome network and great savings, there's never been a better time to join T-Mobile. Visit your neighborhood store to make the switch today.
Room returns with Miles and Thrill.
Shut up, it's 5:08. We'll drink a toast for the shout of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, quick check on Mike Hogg and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
Well, thank you, Miles. New research has found that tomatoes found on the Galapagos Islands are reverting back to a primitive genetic state. They are actually de-evolving. They're going backward.
They're heirlooming.
Do they have a reason for that, or
I don't know. I think they're about to study why they're doing that. Obviously, it's a phenomenon. Not a whole lot of things, evolve to get better and then say, you know what, this actually sucks. Let's back this off.
That is a little weird.
Yeah.
Huh.
So I don't know what's going on with the island over there. It's already an anomaly over there, but
in other news, someone is studying Galapagos tomatoes.
Yeah.
Like someone has to realize that.
Wait a minute.
I've been studying these. Finally, it pays off. See, Mom, I told you.
Right? This looks like the strain from 100 years ago.
Yeah.
What in the world? A new report that AI is willing to kill humans to avoid being shut down. So if it could, it would. It's kind of like a kitten.
Wasn't that kind of the whole point? Wasn't that what everyone was saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, if you give something intelligence and it feels threatened, it doesn't matter what it is, it's going to defend itself.
Correct.
Right? So, I mean...
It's one of the laws of robotics.
I wish it would go away.
I'm with you.
I'm just tired of every story about it. It's all this. It's all that.
Yeah.
Could you just burn out? Can we have another story that takes over?
Social media is just replete
in the
with
news
it.
cycle. Just something else takes over.
Right. That's just the hotness right now.
I know.
Yeah, I know. Going on.
And then a lot of the
It
stories
is.
are AI generated, which is the funny thing.
Right. That's
hard to
part
read
of the
about
problem.
AI, but also, and a lot of, let's say, journalist Mike Hawk with help from AI.
Right.
Didn't you get an email from AI on an interview the other day?
Yes.
Essentially?
I'm almost positive of it.
Oh, really?
I guarantee you, I'm trying to get something set up right now, and reading the emails, I guarantee you this is an automated email system just based on what I can see on this thing.
Okay.
I can pick out, this isn't a person writing
Right.
this. This isn't a person. Come on now.
You need to be a little more imperfect to fool.
And you guys should have more money than this. I don't get. And the problem is, I'll scroll on Facebook and I'll see something that is just clearly AI generated. It's like an AI comic or something like that. And the post is very funny. And I look at it, it's like, this isn't funny at all. And then I look at the comments and it's all the same comment over and over again. I'm like, how deep does this AI well go? How many doggone profiles has it made to then create all this content? This is wild. Social media is about to be destroyed by AI because it won't stop just infecting everything in there.
I'm okay with it.
I can't enjoy anything on there anymore. Cannabis and human remains that were sent to space on a SpaceX mission went missing after returning to Earth.
Wait. Cannabis and human remains.
Yeah.
Two separate things.
Space ashes.
And then they come back.
They don't know where it's at.
Oh, the cannabis, I can guess. But, one of those is obvious. But, the other one. Okay.
Aliens took the space weed.
I got stoned.
This is nice.
Space weed.
So that nobody smoked it. They just sent it up there?
Yeah, they sent it up there, and then when they brought it back, from what I can understand, I didn't read the story, but when it came back, they lost it on re-entry. They don't know where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know why they sent human remains and weed to space, but SpaceX is doing its stuff.
I'm into necrophilia and getting stoned, bro.
I mean, maybe somebody just likes getting stoned and sent a family member.
There you go. There you go, buddy.
Oh, you've seen space now.
Yeah.
I guess you might be up there. I don't know.
Big spot.
An Australian mining company has made a battery electric locomotive that frequently charges itself because it's constantly traveling downhill.
At some point, it's got to stop moving downhill, though, right?
Well, yeah, but I think then it uses the battery power to then
go
hike
back
itself
up.
back up the hill.
Mike, you explained that succinctly. Thank you.
And I feel like it's such a low grade over a long period of time that it doesn't even take that much power.
Okay.
So it's just kind of in perpetual full battery mode because it's spending so much time charging.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah. There we go. There you
like
go,
it.
Miles. That's not AI. That's a good technological advancement.
Thank God.
Scientists have used a bacteria to turn plastic waste into acetaminophen. And it's a modified E. coli bacteria.
Huh. E. coli. All right. There's a good side.
Right. And that's weird to me that we spend so much time like avoiding E. coli, restaurants get shut down because of an outbreak, but now we're going to make it turn plastic into Tylenol.
Well, hey, if it's going to be there, you might as well do something useful.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I could say is some of that stuff is kind of like our stomach acid, right?
Okay.
Right.
You gotta have it, but if it leaks, then it's like the rest of the body's like, wrong thing, right? So
it's
you're
your
right.
personal Fukushima.
Yeah, E. coli, bad.
Right.
But we could use it to turn into something good.
Eats plastic? Good.
I mean, you don't have to drink, and there's still advantages to alcohol, to cleaning stuff, and everything else.
Yeah, that's true.
Absolutely. Google Earth will now soon let you look at old images in Street View to revisit the history of whichever place that you're looking at.
We
Earth.
did that today.
Yeah.
Oh, did you really? You guys went on the deep dive.
Oh, boy. Not Google. It was Google Earth, not
it's
the Street View, but yeah.
Wait, you looked at old images. Where at?
All over the world.
Okay.
Yes.
Like from where you grew up at?
Like Las Vegas.
Oh, gotcha. How much
What
that's
it was in 1998 compared to what it looks like now.
Jeez.
Yeah,
It's like glaciers.
it's eye-opening.
It's crazy.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah.
Spots in Oregon where they were like total forest completely gone.
Oh, yeah.
It's nuts. Like 20 years we've done some damage. to
Yes,
this
we
planet.
have. Yes, we have. There's an article providing relief for those suffering from an allergy that's more common than people think. Semen allergy.
Huh.
I'm allergic to it.
So she wasn't lying.
No.
No, she was.
I didn't know that was a thing. I think I might have made fun of the fact that might have been a thing. And, in some rare cases, but they said of women that suffer from post-session discomforts and reactions, 12% of them actually have a semen allergy.
I first read about that last week. We were researching something entirely different for the question of the day. Cannot remember what that question was, but one of the stories involved a woman who had a semen allergy. But like anything, she's one of the first people to come forward.
Sure.
And say, look, people have been making fun of me for all these years, blah, blah, blah. But I went to a doctor, and they're like, yeah, but her thing was she wasn't allergic to all semen, but whatever the protein is, like in her current boyfriend's semen,
okay,
that's the one.
That's the
so she's
one.
like, here's my issue. She's like, I love my boyfriend, but when we have sex, like anything, you break out in hives or whatever. She's like, and that sucks. But other guys I've been with, who I don't want to be with, I don't. So
that would freak me out as a dude.
I want to have sex. I want to have sex with this guy, but it brings me great discomfort after the fact.
That would freak me out as a dude. Like, do I have like acidic stuff?
Yeah. I mean, but you can go to your Rolodex and be like, man, you're the only person as far as I know that it affects. But it also sucks because I want to be with you.
Right.
But I want to have sex with you.
But
you want to have sex with me. But it's kind of like I have a shellfish allergy, but I really want to eat shrimp.
It's
like
gank gunk.
You can.
Yeah.
But it brings you great discomfort.
I don't know, man. I'll whatever you want to call me insecure. I'll be like, let's see the paperwork. Or like, if you want to break up, we can just break up.
Show me the proof, man.
I really like you. I can't have sex with you anymore.
I'm allergic to your semen.
Yeah.
Workers exposed to AI report better physical health and higher satisfaction with their well-being without feeling anxious, depressed, or insecure about their job security.
Because we're not doing anything.
Well, that's the thing is, the big argument with AI was like it's gonna get people out of jobs because it's gonna take over everything, and they said it's having the opposite effect. people feel more secure in their jobs. They're actually feeling better about it.
Because you can just plug AI.
Right.
You don't have to do the research. Obviously, I'm more relaxed.
Sure. It's switching what your job is what it's doing.
Essentially, yeah. Your AI monitoring.
And if AI is going to take your job, you know.
Oh, yeah, I think you know.
You know what I mean? So maybe there's going to be some reductions in force as AI continues to make things easier so that fewer people have to be able to monitor it and take a look at things, but you know.
But see, I didn't see that coming when I was a kid. There was always robots are going to take your job.
Right. That was the AI.
Right. That's what we're looking at is the robots. They're like, ha-ha, we snuck in the back door there.
It actually is Hal. Damn it.
I was going to say, right? I mean, it basically
I tried to tell you, Dave.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. I know, man.
We're hosed.
I hate those dogs.
Dogs?
The robot dogs that are doing stuff.
Oh, yeah. Those videos are crazy, man.
They're wild.
Yeah.
1 in 4 Americans want a break from physical intimacy, according to a new study.
Semen allergies.
They're allergic.
I'm there to step in for you.
Right. I'm on the bench.
Whatever your boyfriend, girlfriend is, I'm there.
We've reached a point in our society.
It's a bold statement.
Coming in.
We've reached a point in our society where someone felt the need to ask, should deodorant be a part of the social contract?
No. I mean, it's up to you. Look, other people might not want to be around you, but it's your choice for how you want to go through life.
It is, but should we hold ourselves to a standard of, like, if you're going to go out in society, put on doggone deodorant?
I think most people do, but again, my argument's always like, look, you can make any decision you want. It's like, I got canceled. Like, you didn't get canceled. A group of people didn't like what you did, and that's their prerogative. If you don't want to wear deodorant, don't. But don't get upset at kind of the social reaction around you. That's all.
To me,
yeah, and I don't know, like, you know what I mean? If I pass somebody who lives on the street and they smell like that, I go, all right, I get it.
Sure.
If I pass somebody in the grocery store, I will make a quick judgment and be like, oh, he must have come back from the gym. Right? Because the deodorant's worn off. I mean, literally, it happened to me last night. Okay. Somebody just passed me, and I was like, that's a lot of BO. But I looked at the dude, and he was just in a T-shirt and mesh shorts. I'm like, oh, he probably just came from the gym. No biggie.
Sure. I've also fallen behind people that they clearly didn't come from the gym. They just reeked.
Yeah. I mean, I'd almost rather smell BO than the entire elevator be filled with different types of colognes. They like burn my nose, my sinuses, and give me a headache.
I disagree with that.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm indifferent. Like, look, man, there's legal. You got to wear clothes. After that, I don't care what you do. You don't impress me enough. And if you stink, then I made the judgment you stink, but don't get upset if I'm like, I don't want to sit next to you.
Dude, I kid you not. I went to a show not terribly long ago. I think it was last year. I was up in Vancouver, and I've walked behind this dude. I call him the Wolf Man because he had one of those wolf shirts with the moon on it.
Yeah.
Big old neck beard on the guy. He reeked, and his smell wafted through a hall full of people inside of an arena. I could smell the damn thing. And then I went into the bathroom. I passed him because I didn't want to follow him and be drafted by this guy. I went into the bathroom, and as I'm standing at the stall, I can't look. I'm not looking, and I know he's in the damn bathroom. Yeah, put on deodorant, dude. There's no excuse that you can make. But you know what? Let's talk about the other great things about deodorant.
The Men's Room Top 10. The Men's Room Top 10.
10 or more fragrant fun facts about deodorant. Well, isn't this serendipitous? Just yesterday, I was getting back on the elevator after taking part in my daily ritual of a tobacco break, in which I am able to shorten my life by about 3 hours a day in just 10 minutes. What a deal. Back to the elevator. There were two distinct odors wafting about in that confined space. One was that Whole Foods organic soaps and creams aisle smell. Delightful. And the other was clearly some rank-ass B.O. For the love of Moses, take a shower. That chemical cover only lasts so long before your boob, butt, and bag odor comes creeping past your vapor barrier.
So here's some fun and interesting facts about deodorant. They start by saying being anti-body odor is not a modern phenomenon. According to the New York Times, ancient Egyptians invented the art of scented bathing and took to applying perfume to their pits. Oh. The first trademarked deodorant in 1888 was called Mum. And the first antiperspirant ever dry, followed 15 years later. That's according to the Times.
They do roll-ons anymore.
I think you can find it somewhere, but it's been a long time.
Is that more female-oriented, so I don't...
It might be.
Okay.
Because if you got pit hair, that's not a good idea.
Well, I used to use them as a kid.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I had pit hair. It wasn't like I was ripping them out or anything.
Right. Sure. That's a good call.
It's like dial.
The only thing I have it to roll on is icy hot.
There you go. Good application there.
Right.
Deodorant kills bacteria. Sweat isn't inherently stinky. In fact, it's nearly odorless. The stench comes from bacteria that breaks down one of two types of sweat on your skin. Deodorant contains some antibacterial power to stop the stink before it starts, while antiperspirants deal with sweat directly.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
It's not you, it's your bacteria.
That's right. More fun deodorant facts. Antiperspirants don't actually stop the sweating process. The aluminum compounds in antiperspirants effectively stop up the eccrine sweat glands, but the FDA only requires that a brand cut back on sweat by 20% to boast an all-day protection on its label. An antiperspirant claiming extra strength only has to cut down on wetness by 30%.
All right.
You just got to know if you're a sweater, too.
Yeah.
And you don't actually want to prevent yourself from sweating.
No, it's a
that
natural
would be
thing that
bad.
your body is doing that
right, for
you
a
actually
reason.
Need to do. You don't want to be stinky. That's the whole thing.
That's always the matter. I would rather be pitting out but not stink
Right.
than look dry as an autumn leaf and just smell like
Wolfman. Yeah, exactly.
Neck beard.
Right. The whole thing.
I feel like if you have a neck beard, you're letting people know there's a very good chance that I smell bad.
Yeah. And
the chances of me stinking are much higher than people without a neck beard.
I could put this dude in a lineup of people, and you could tell.
You could close your eyes and figure out which one.
Exactly. Like you could walk into a room with a lineup of these people, and you could say, that's the guy. Without my description, you could know exactly who stank in that room. Some more deodorant facts. You can really become immune to your antiperspirant. It seems that our bodies do adapt to sweat-thwarting ways of antiperspirants, but no one really knows why. The body may adapt to find a way to unplug the glands or simply produce more sweat in the body's other glands. They say it's a good idea to switch up your deodorant brand every 6 months to prevent resistance.
Huh. 6 months. All right.
6 months. Yeah, I haven't changed my deodorant in a long time. I also haven't done an antiperspirant in quite some time. I heard that there was some health thing with the aluminum that was in it that you might want to avoid. Plus, again, you don't want to keep yourself from sweating.
Right.
It's unsightly, but it's something that you need to do. Fun facts about deodorant. Your deodorant does not care if you're male or female.
No.
Which is funny. It
it's
asks
the
me every day.
fragrance
It's
that they
pH
put
balance
out.
for a woman, though.
Yeah, that's what they say.
That commercial was big.
Okay, it's huge because you weren't going to argue. You're like,
How does the lotion know if it's body or hand?
True. I don't know.
Trust me, I've heard that. Why are you using my hand lotion? I'm like, I don't know. Your legs. I'm like, because it's lotion.
Lotion.
They say deodorant for men or for women is most likely a little more than marketing ploy. In at least one brand, the same active ingredient is present in the same amounts in the sticks for men and women. It's only the packaging and fragrance that differs.
Of course.
It says that we're still falling for it, though. As of 2006, unisex deodorants make up for just 10% of the sweat-fighting market. And also, fun fact, while women have more sweat glands than men, men's sweat glands produce more.
Lucky us.
Yeah.
I don't need as many to sweat like you do.
That's why we're sweaty, stinky, gross. That's why women can have a big old workout at the gym and still just not sweat at all. Meanwhile, I do, 10 minutes and I'm going to flop sweat.
But keep in mind, they now have that all-over body deodorant, which I know they have for men now, but they introduced it for women first. And I felt like all they were really trying to say in that entire commercial is, you can put it on your hoo-ha.
Right.
Because people took care of the
Do you
armpits.
feel not so
People take
fresh?
care of the... So they go, it's an all-body. It's like, I get it, but what you're saying is, yeah, Waheen, this is what we're going for.
Fun deodorant facts. Not everybody needs deodorant, and it's possible to tell if you do by your earwax. Deodorant advertisers have done a pretty good job of convincing us that we're disgustingly smelly animals who need to be refined by their products, like Wolfman. But most people don't smell as bad as they think they do. Some who come from a particularly lucky gene pool don't even smell at all. Short of foregoing all deodorant long enough to discover your true scent, you can get an idea about your own personal smell factor by examining your earwax. White, flaky ear gunk most likely means that you could toss the deodorant stick. Dark and sticky wax, not so fast.
Dark and sticky is not like my women.
Dry earwax producers are missing a chemical in their pits that the odor-causing bacteria feed on.
Okay.
So that's why you can tell there.
Is there anything earwax can't do? Didn't you have something last week with earwax, like like Parkinson's or Alzheimer's?
AI can assess it or something like that and tell if you'll have Parkinson's
from your freaking earwax.
Yeah.
We still talking about canal juice?
Canal juice, yes.
That's right. Nobody, not even deodorant makers, truly understands where those yellow stains come from.
On the white shirts?
That's right. The dominant theory is that the aluminum-based ingredients in antiperspirant somehow react with sweat or skin or shirts or laundry detergent or all of the above to make that foul stain.
That makes sense, so they would have fixed it.
Right. Because
if they knew, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't ruin your clothes.
Right.
They would market it that way.
Oh, God.
Will not ruin your white shirt.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I'll leave you with this final fun fact that you probably didn't know about deodorant. Did you guys know that you can, in fact, make your own? A number of plant oils and extracts contain their very own antibacterial powers, so in theory, you can make your own stench-fighting deodorant relatively easy. However, people seem to find all-natural store-bought products to have a varying degree of efficacy, not to mention that you won't find an all-natural antiperspirant, just odor blockers.
Yeah, right.
So if you're doing it the way that I am, which is just not going for the antiperspirant, that's not a terrible idea.
Yeah, it's my doing. I just use toothpaste.
A man in Connecticut ended up stuck on a chimney, but you won't believe why, Miles.
Why was he in a chimney?
Tell you about it at 5:50.
Thank you, sir. Headlines are coming up at 5:50. In the meantime, if we made it to drinking time.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the men's room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Quick time it is, as usual, we have Tuesday Drink Desk. And Steve, a thrill hill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And today we toast the United States Marshal Service and the Milwaukee Police Department. This past Friday, they pulled over a vehicle and they realized that the driver had an active warrant for his arrest. So officers placed spike strips under his rear tires, but he sped off anyway. Cops gave chase, reaching speeds of 80 miles an hour. And as this guy's driving, the suspect actually fired shots at the officers. Now, the good news is no one was hurt, no one was hit. Now, eventually, the driver abandoned his car and disappeared onto a golf course. Well, this past Monday, just yesterday, they managed to track him down. They took him into custody, and they arrested 42-year-old, and this is his name, Looney Tune. Looney Tune is the man's name. And the stupid thing is he has two middle names, and it's like, Frank and Edward. Completely normal middle names, but his actual first name is Looney. His last name is Tune.
I mean, I get his parents trying to make a joke. I mean, he lived up to it.
He did. That's the whole thing about him. But don't name your kid Looney Tune. Just throwing it out there.
Oh, noted.
Nickname him Looney Tune if you want to do that.
I guess, truthfully, that only affects you if your last name's Tune.
Tune, right.
Like, none of us have to worry about it.
I mean, Looney Hill. Sure, make fun of it, but it's not Looney Tune. So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy.
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies.
Down the hola bichola. Let's get a contestant on the line for Profile This. 206-803-ROCK. Profile This is next.
Presented by T-Mobile, the official wireless partner of Odyssey Sports. With an awesome network and great savings, there's never been a better time to join T-Mobile. Visit your neighborhood store to make the switch today.
Looking for a dealership that truly cares about you? Discover the difference at Toyota of Bellingham. Here, we prioritize on providing a world-class experience, not just making a sale. Toyota of Bellingham's mission? To build lasting relationships and be your go-to for all things automotive, sales, service, and parts. With a stellar 4.6 Google rating and being voted the best dealership in 3 counties for 4 consecutive years, we're dedicated to excellence. Toyota of Bellingham, where customer satisfaction drives us. Visit our showroom today or check us out online at toyotaofbellingham.com.
Get set for summer adventures in a new Ford and get thousands in savings and special APR offers with employee pricing at Kendall Ford of Marysville. We're down to the final weeks of being able to buy like a Ford factory employee. Don't miss the savings, like over $11,500 off MSRP on a new 2024 Ford F-150 Crew Cab XLT 4x4.
And get 0% APR.
Need more room for the family? Get into a new 2024 Ford Expedition XLT 4x4 and save over $10,200 off MSRP. No matter where your summer fun leads, enjoy the drive in a new Ford. Get in on the savings with Ford employee pricing before these deals are gone. Stop by Kendall Ford of Marysville today. Kendall. Let's start something great.
VIN number 1FRKF18183 and 1FREA90321. Zero down payment, financing and approved credit, all factory rebates subject to change. Price does not include taxes, title, or license. A negotiable documentary service fee of up to $200 may be added to the sale price of the vehicle. Subject to prior sales, see dealer for details. Offer expires 7/7/25.
Why are more women than ever choosing Natural Cycles? The hormone-free, side-effect-free way to take control of your fertility. Natural Cycles is a birth control app that uses your temperature to find your fertile window. It is more than a basic cycle tracking app. Natural Cycles is the only FDA-cleared and CE-marked birth control app and has helped millions prevent and plan for pregnancy naturally. Save 15% when you sign up today with code RADIO15. Learn more at naturalcycles.com.
Presented by T-Mobile, the official wireless partner of Odyssey Sports. With an awesome network and great savings, there's never been a better time to join T-Mobile. Visit your neighborhood store to make the switch today.
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
Hey, Stephen Throwhill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
A sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Brad. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola. All right, Brad, you understand how this here game is played?
I do.
Fantastic. Today, you have a choice of one of three categories. We have Hit Me With Your Best Shot, where you guess the unconventional object that someone chose to use as a weapon. Animalize This, where you guess the animal responsible for causing the problem. And finally, today, License to Spill, where you guess the substance responsible for creating the mess.
Do License to Spill.
The driver of a tractor-trailer that overturned on northbound I-95 in Johnson City, he's been charged with driving while impaired. The trailer was hauling tons of cargo when it overturned after hitting a guardrail. So Summit Singh of New York, he was the only person in the truck. He was taken to a hospital for treatment of minor injuries. But in addition to a DWI, Singh is charged with reckless driving and failure to maintain lane control. The road was closed for about 8 hours while crews cleaned up the mess. And basically, that's the story. But it does lead to today's question, which is, what did the crews have to clean up for 8 hours before they could get I-95 back open? Was it tons of peanuts? Was it tons of blackberries? Was it tons of frozen French fries or tons of frozen chicken? So peanuts, blackberries, French fries, or chicken, what spilled out of this truck and caused an 8-hour backup?
In Tennessee?
It's not
like Johnson City?
95, so not
It's got to be Virginia, maybe, is my guess. Because 95 wouldn't go through Tennessee.
No, you're right. I was thinking about the song Wagon Wheel.
I think I'm going to go
Johnson City, Tennessee.
I'm going to go blackberries, just based on how long it took to clean up the mess.
That's what I was thinking. I'm going to go blackberries, too.
So you're going to go blackberries, Brad?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, Ted?
I like them. I'm going to say peanuts.
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 What spilled all over the road? Peanuts, blackberries, frozen French fries, or chicken? We'll find out next.
That was a T. Meet Natural Cycles, the only FDA-cleared and CE-marked birth control app that's built around your body. The Natural Cycles app pinpoints your fertile days by tracking shifts in your temperature, so you can plan or prevent pregnancy naturally. It's easy to use. Simply take your temperature in the morning with our free Bluetooth thermometer included with our annual plan, or sync with your Oura Ring or Apple Watch. The app analyzes your data and tells you daily whether it's a fertile or non-fertile day. Natural Cycles is 93% effective with typical use and 98% effective with perfect use. But beyond effective birth control, the app helps you understand your body and cycle better than ever. And unlike some period tracking apps, Natural Cycles provides an advanced data protection program to keep your information private and secure. Ready to go hormone-free? Sign up for the Natural Cycles annual plan and get a free Bluetooth thermometer. Plus 15% off your subscription with the code RADIO15 at naturalcycles.com.
Looking for a dealership that truly cares about you? Discover the difference at Toyota of Bellingham. Here we prioritize on providing a world-class experience, not just making a sale. Toyota of Bellingham's mission? To build lasting relationships and be your go-to for all things automotive, sales, service, and parts. With a stellar 4.6 Google rating and being voted the best dealership in 3 counties for 4 consecutive years, we're dedicated to excellence. Toyota of Bellingham, where customer satisfaction drives us. Visit our showroom today or check us out online at toyotaofbellingham.com.
Presented by T-Mobile, the official wireless partner of Odyssey Sports. With an awesome network and great savings, there's never been a better time to join T-Mobile. Visit your neighborhood store to make the switch today.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Category is a license to spill on profilers. You got a tractor trailer driver who was charged with DUI after spilling his load. And the road closed for 8 hours.
8 hours.
Question is, did he spill peanuts, blackberries, frozen French fries, or chicken?
And Brad, that is the very question that we posed to you. Let us start with D. Ted Smith. You picture Charlie Brown, Lucy, and Snoopy falling out of the back of the truck. No, it was not peanuts. And Brad, you agreed with Miles. You guys both went blackberries. And Miles, you picked blackberries because you said 8 hours to clean up if you dealt with blackberries.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you are correct. A big brain.
At least it wasn't peanuts, French fries, or chicken. Yeah. Me out of the four, those are better.
Sounds like yeah. Sorry, I was trying to make a cobbler joke.
We'll give you time. Give us your best cobbler joke.
God,
shoes and ties. I mean, that's...
You think somebody could, I don't know, could have walked over all that cobbler ingredients?
Nah, it's not.
Big, yeah, I don't know, man. It's right there.
You got no cobbler jokes.
I'm out of cobbler jokes.
And that peachy. Now for all TV news all the time for TV Time with Ted.
Oops, hang on. And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
Trace Party spilled all those blackberries last Thursday. All right. The choice is you got the Jimmys,
Fallon and Kibble,
Stephen Colbert, writers, or Ted Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late night?
It is right there to tell. These guys have talented teams of writers help them come up with monologues each and every night. It is up to you to determine, is this an actual late night joke and from whom, or could it be a The Ted Smith original?
In sports news, Oklahoma City won their first NBA championship on Sunday afternoon. So remember that in 20 years when it's an answer to a trivia question.
The Ted Smith.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't really know else.
Trying to find some way to insult them.
Yeah, and I just, honestly, the way the NBA is, right? What is this, the 8th year in a row with a different champion?
Yeah.
I don't see that becoming a dynasty. It's just Oklahoma City had one Big Four title. Temperatures across the East Coast are nearing 100 degrees. It's brutal out there. You know it's bad when the heat map looks like Elmo's colonoscopy. Colonoscopy.
Colbert.
Fallon.
Temperatures across the East Coast nearing 100 degrees here. Ooh. Seriously, it is brutal out there. You know it's bad when the heat map looks like Elmo's colonoscopy, you know?
I almost got to poop. More than 16 billion passwords for Google, Apple, Facebook, and other platforms have been leaked in one of the largest hacks of all time. It's pretty scary. Now everyone knows your Facebook password except you.
Fallon?
That's Fallon.
More than 16 billion passwords for Google, Apple, Facebook, and other platforms have been leaked in one of the largest hacks of all time. Ooh. It's pretty scary. Now everyone knows your Facebook password, but you.
Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez has kicked off their 3-day wedding celebration in Venice. You know you're powerful when you can have a destination wedding on a weekday and people still show up.
Is that Colbert?
Seth Meyers.
That's Fallon.
People are talking about this. Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez kick off their 3-day wedding celebration in Venice. You know you're powerful when you have your destination wedding on a Tuesday and people still show up.
That is wild.
Yeah, but you got that kind of money, man.
Well, also, I think he wants to have stuff in the middle of Venice and everything, and I'm sure they're like, you got to do this during the week.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right? I mean,
they are not happy. Venice, not the couple.
Right.
Well,
the city of Venice is not happy.
There's a lot of people that are unhappy about it. I think some of the businesses are kind of happy. I was reading today there's an influx of stuff. Obviously, the cops there and stuff between protest and threats because, he is Jeff Bezos.
Right. Everything. Yeah, of course.
It's a lot of extra money. I would think they probably charged it to him. He could afford it.
Where was his first wedding, do you think? Salty's on Alki? Where did he go?
Man, that's
what I'm saying? Seriously. Where the first one compared to the second one.
Right.
The second one, you basically rented Venice. The first one, where were you at? Daniel's Broiler?
Red Lobster.
Where was the reception at?
I don't know. And there's a lot of people going over there. A lot of, people following it online and everything. At first, I was like, why do we care about this? Then I remember how excited I was about a royal wedding. So I was like, I guess I can't make fun of people that want to see that. And it is like, that's a massive event, right? You talk about actors. Remember Lauren Sanchez, her ex is Tony Gonzalez. They have a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
I like people were like shocked too. Like her ex, Tony Gonzalez, is there. It's like, well, they have a kid.
Yeah.
And like,
I think they're over it at this point.
Yeah. I mean, I have exes I'm not like friends or talk to, but if she was like, I'm getting married to Jeff Bezos, do you want to go? I'd be like, yes. 100%.
Could you give me
If my wife tells me that tonight, I'd be like, I can go to the wedding, all right?
Hook me up with one of your friends.
Yeah.
I know them all.
Yeah, exactly. You got to get in there. Let's see. So
that would be a tough shoe to step into. You're a Tony Gonzalez.
Mm-hmm.
This guy played tight end in the NFL for as long as the history of long playing tight ends. Like
sure.
At last. 6 foot, 4'5"? 6'6"?
Gotta be, right?
Good looking dude.
He was a baller. He was a
stacked.
basketball player, a Cal.
I mean, I would feel like sexually inferior having to step into that situation.
He has billions of dollars.
Right, exactly. I know.
I mean,
still.
we know why she's marrying him, so it's, again, makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I also think, too, Tony Gonzalez is another one of those people that, you could argue is the greatest tight end of all time. I feel like nowadays we've gotten so caught up in these championship arguments where it's like, well, it doesn't take – baseball still does a good job about it. It's about more of a stats thing.
Yeah.
But it's like sometimes, in team sports, it's very hard, right?
It's amazing to me how long some of those guys, Antonio Gates, even Jimmy Graham, how long those guys played. Because that position is hard.
It is. All right, so this is not going to be uplifting, but I found it very interesting. It's one of those things I would say, again, kind of a tough watch, but it's good to watch. You want to know what's going on. So it's a documentary. It's about an hour, almost 2 hours. Came out on HBO. I watched it last night called Surviving Ohio State. And I'll be dead honest, I had kind of forgotten about this scandal a little bit myself, which I feel bad about now.
They would like you to.
They would like, yeah, exactly. But there was a doctor at Ohio State who basically, these wrestlers from the wrestling team came out and said, hey, like this guy was molesting us. But nobody... I mean, to this day, even when these guys finally came out, people are like, there's no way, right? You're the definition of like alpha males, right? Like you're tough wrestlers. One of the wrestlers is Mark Coleman. If you know anything about the UFC, Mark Coleman is one of the original champions, is arguably one of the toughest, like baddest dudes.
Right.
And his whole thing was he would just ground and pound dudes, right? He'd spear them, get them on the ground and just smother them. So, I mean, like, it's not like these are not tough dudes. But this doctor, he's messing with the wrestlers. There's a hockey player that had to quit.
Jesus.
Right? And then another thing that happened is this doctor, at one point, they promote him instead of firing him. He ends up going to another college. He's still welcome at Ohio State. Then he passes away. So when all this stuff comes out with, like, the doctor up at Michigan State, right? And you remember him because you had all the gymnasts come out and make these statements, right? Then, of course, you had the dude at Penn State. Sandusky, right, who they covered that up. And look, I'm not – those universities are both at fault as well. But at least those universities came out and said, we fully admit, like –
we admit it.
Right.
Yes.
Ohio State just hasn't done that. And Ohio State is like, sure. I mean, they read a report. I want to say 177 different instances where somebody filed a complaint or whatever. And their whole thing is like, well, it never made it to the top brass.
Come on.
Right. Obviously, politics are involved because Jim Jordan is the assistant coach on that wrestling team. Now, this is one of those things, too, where I think a lot of coaches would do it with steroids, is people go, well, how could this man do this? And it's like, look, first of all, wrestlers are not. A lot of these dudes come from poor backgrounds, so they're scared to lose their scholarship.
Sure.
B, there's some things that say he was given, in this the late 80s, early 90s, that he was juicing these players up with steroids, so that's why some of the coaches were scared because they
don't say anything.
Correct. And I mean, the only thing I could say, it's kind of like college sports, right? Like, look, Nick Saban can sit on national TV, in my opinion, to this day and go, we never paid a player. Because he knew damn well to keep it out of his office.
Yeah, he didn't.
So you see the head coach of Jim Jordan kind of taking that approach, like, well, we never exactly knew. And it's like, well, you said some things like people knew.
Right.
It's just, honestly, it's just heartbreaking. And then, as I said in the office, people were like, oh, no, like this and that. It's like, Why would they make it up?
Right.
And people are like, you're just doing it for money. And the one guy goes, well, yeah, that's how our society works in a capitalist society. For them to feel pain, they got to pay something out.
Right, that's it.
Correct. So it's like, yeah, the money's a big issue.
What does it? Hit him in the pocket.
Right. It's like when you argue a salary with somebody goes, oh, is it all about money? Yeah, that's how you show people that you respect what they're doing. And same for this. You know, Michigan State and Penn State have paid out millions. Ohio State said, statute of limitations. And they're trying to get out from under it. So I think it's good. And you could see, and listen, it's a tough watch. But when you see these what you think, and they are alpha males, and they're breaking down and crying. I mean, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But I again, tough watch. Highly recommend people do. Just so, like we said in the office, just so you know what's going on. All right. I broke this news yesterday. Cobra Kai guy. Now it's everywhere. He bit his co-star.
Here.
Down in Puyallup at the fairgrounds.
Oh, I didn't realize it was here.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, there's a good chance.
Do they even show up on the set together now? I mean, look.
I think it's over. Because I think the final season's already been filmed. I mean, look, he kept saying I was joking around or whatever and kissed her arm afterwards. And then,
that's crazy.
And the cop said, and he went and apologized. So I guess that's good enough. She didn't press charges.
Yeah.
But I think
they filed a police report. Or did they not? Something happened where it was like, the
cops got involved, but she decided not to press charges, even though even though a police report had been filed.
Okay.
So that's one of those things, too. I'm sure she could say, look, I don't want to press charges, but, make a report of it.
Yeah.
So, if he was in the state again and something came up, they could be like, well, he was biting people before.
Well, for someone like him, I think just going public is worse than whatever the cops would have done.
I mean, that's such a weird one.
The cops they can hit you with whatever the charge would be, assault, battery, whatever it might be, right? And you can sweep that under the rug, you get on with your life, but you make it public. Every time we look at this guy now, whether you care or not, but every time you look at the guy, like, oh, Bitey McAnderson.
But when I look at him, I already think he's a weirdo.
Yeah, but this doesn't help.
But his character, not him as a person. Now as a person,
yeah,
I feel the same way that I do about his character. Like, geez, a whiz, man.
Right. Well, not to mention how awkward that for all the people that went down there and have spent all that money, right? And then it's like you watch him basically talk to the and then the cops, for what I read yesterday, were like, well, she's not pressing charges, but you got to leave.
Yeah, they sorted him out.
You can't stay. You bit somebody. Right? So I'm just saying,
that's a weird phone call to make to your wife. Why'd they kick you out? Oh, I bit a girl I work with. What?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Who knows? This seems like one of those situations. He might come out in a couple of days and be like, oh, go to rehab or whatever. But it's just what were you thinking? It's also, it's like one of those things how many people you've been biting? Why did we think this was okay? It's like I always talk about with Joe Namath, right? When he was drunk on Monday Night Football and looks at Susie Colbert and goes, I want to kiss you. She's like, thanks. He's like, I want to kiss you. It's because he was blacked out drunk and he had used that line I bet thousands of times.
And it worked thousands of times.
Right. When he was 25.
Yeah.
Who knows? He's Broadway. I'm just saying. Yeah. I think this guy's out biting more people, but I don't know. This is just my opinion. It just seems very odd to see a coworker.
If that's not already your thing.
Well, the reports is she passed by, he grabs her arm or something. Maybe they already don't like each other. You don't have to put on a show. I don't know. I think people at the con would have got it. But also,
there's a few people I don't like that we work with, but I can't imagine just biting them.
Yeah, say hi.
What the hell?
Yeah. And then somebody really wanted a picture with that guy. I never got one. Jeff Ross, we all know him as kind of the Roastmaster General.
Yep.
This is kind of funny. Not funny that he got diagnosed with colon cancer and needs surgery. But he said, oncologist was like, Jeff, the good news, we get good news and bad news. The bad news, you're going to do 6 more months of chemo. The good news is you lost all your hair a long time ago. So it's just kind of funny that, the roast master, this serious doctor was like...
I got cancer jokes.
I feel like if there's a guy you could feel comfortable roasting if you know him, I feel like it's Jeff Ross. And, I don't know, credit that doctor.
How many people do you think you ran that through? All right, man, this one, before I hit send... Yep. And it was probably 50-50 in the office. Yeah, he'll get it. And the other 50% going, I don't know, man. It's a bad. But I think the difference is, it's one thing to say you will continue chemo. I mean, they're already aware of this. It'd be different if you said you have cancer. But the good news, right? So
correct.
I think that's the entire difference in how you make this.
Well, he went through 4 or 5 jokes of it.
Right, and you're right. He lost 7 inches of his colon and says, "I now have a semicolon." Mm-hmm. Right. So again, I feel like because it's Jeff Ross, but that is kind of funny. And you go to a doctor that much for something that serious.
Sure.
Like I would imagine at that point you have a pretty personal relationship with him. But either way, could have good. Roast him.
Thank you, Tim. We appreciate it. You're listening to The Men's Room.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Parents of the Year hire 2 dancers to perform at their son's graduation.
Oh, yeah.
Turns out bad things happen when you try to hand-feed a lion. And yes, Caucasian. To Michigan, where rescuers pry a lid off of a black bear's head, a man tries to rescue a dog from a locked home, almost ends up dead, and someone leaves a girthy 12-inch long sausage in a nightclub. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my car.
At our top story, we go to Bristol, Connecticut, where authorities were called on reports of a burglary in process. They arrived on the scene, in progress. They arrived on the scene, a local park, to find a man stuck in the chimney of one of the bathrooms provided for patrons. They had to do some damage to the building to free the man, about $5,000 to $10,000 worth, to get him out of his precarious position, and ultimately arrested him on a couple of charges. But the reason he's in headlines tonight is why he was in the chimney. They recently installed timers on the bathroom doors designed to lock after the park closes down for the night, and the man had unfortunately left something inside by the time that the doors locked: his dog. Luckily, the dog was unharmed, but authorities said that the whole thing could have been avoided if he had just called him in the first place.
Just call, man.
Right.
Why would you? Hey, don't call anybody. I'm going to go down the chimney.
Right. I'm going to try to squeeze my way in there because it'll open from the inside if it's locked while you're in there.
Sure.
The dog just can't do it by itself.
No.
And
it'd be great if the dog unlocked the door like.
They had to take a section of wall out. They had to dismantle the doggone chimney to get him out.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, dude, we have the keys. We know this. They have no idea how the dog got in there.
Maybe the dog did it on his own.
Right?
Lock the door. It's like, I'm sick of that dude.
Screw this guy.
He's like, you can tell he's an idiot.
This man would just jump into a doggone chimney to get me. Right? Idiot. In other news, over to Crimea, where a man should consider a different profession. He's known as the Lion Whisperer in the area and prides himself, on his ability to freely walk amongst the lions at the local safari park, and even has a show where he invites patrons to join him and mingle about the lions as well.
Nope, thank you.
Yeah, I'm with you. Because they're not tethered either. They're just walking around like cats at a freaking shelter.
Yeah.
Get in here.
Yeah. But the park was the scene of tragedy recently when our Lion Whisperer was in the enclosure to feed his restless animals. One of the lions at the park saw our boy as something less than a handler and more like a toy as it attacked him and drug him around by the neck, leaving him with severe wounds to his head, neck, and lung.
Because the lion was right. You're a handler as long as they think you are.
Correct.
They make a judgment call.
Yeah. As soon as I realize
I don't want you to be my handler, you're not.
Luckily, others jumped in to help free the man from the cat's jaws, and he was taken to the hospital, which, side note, gutsy on their part. I love you guys a lot, but if I see you guys get mauled by a doggone lion, right, I'm not jumping in there.
There's no chance.
Oh, no, somebody do something is what I'm doing.
It would have to be one of my children.
Right, and
even then I'm counting 3 Mississippi.
Yeah.
I mean, but also, like, the guy called himself a lion whisperer, although I suspect he probably screamed more than he whispered in that moment, but still, hey, man, that's the gig you chose. Yeah. I'm not saving you.
If you say you're a whisperer, you're messing with something that you shouldn't.
That's a fact.
That's what that means. Stupid.
He was taken to the hospital where he sits in critical condition, and it is worth noting that the lion that attacked him was one that he vouched for and spared after it attacked and killed his colleague.
Oh, jeez, man.
This is strike 2 for this lion.
I mean, that's even crazier.
I mean,
no, we got to keep him. He'll never do this again.
Nah, he's good. This is my boy.
Right. Like, he's got to do it again.
Hey.
But I don't care. I'll be Team Lion. Keep him going.
Yeah. You know what? Let's see how many bodies he can stack up.
He's acting like a lion.
Right.
The humans are acting like fools.
Whiz. To England, where they party hard and party weird. One of the nightclubs in the area was doing their routine cleanup to close down after a fun night on the weekend when they came upon something odd. It's not out of the realm of possibility for attendees of the club to bring different things, to add a little bit more fun to the good times. They all bring their own stuff. I'm not talking about drugs or anything like that.
Right.
They bring just stuff, right? Nor is it unusual for things to get left behind, lost, and forgotten, such as the normal lipsticks, wallets, vapes, everything there. But the crew was left beyond puzzled after they found a 12-inch long sausage that someone had brought and left behind.
Were they hungry?
I don't know.
Take it home later?
There was not near enough of that thing eaten for it to have been a club
I love
snack.
the fact that they called it girthy.
Where was it? In England. It was just it was like a salami. That's what they're talking about by sausage. It's just this big a roll.
But they're stunned by this, right? All the crap there. They're like, where did the sausage come from? Why is it that?
I mean, if it's like a log of salami, I don't know. Maybe you had just bought it that day.
Take a bite, dude.
And then, like, everybody's like, dude, we're going to the club. It's like, God damn it. I guess I'll just bring it with me.
They posted photos of the meat product on social media, hoping to find the owner, but only found evidence that people knew of its existence, as it had appeared in several photos from people throughout the night. I think they brought it, and it just got lost in there among the people.
Yeah, it's like somebody dropped their sausage.
Who dropped their sausage? To Taiwan, where parents can't do anything nice for their kids, apparently. It's graduation season, and parents all over the world are making their kids' day special with all kinds of parties and celebrations. But one couple in Taiwan ended up attracting the police, as well as several others, when they turned up the heat a little bit and hired a pair of pole dancers to perform outside their son's secondary school. They told local media that
outside the school?
Yeah! It is right outside the doors! They told local media that they wanted to outdo anything any of the other parents would be considering, which they did. Unfortunately, police arrived on the scene and dispersed the performance, citing a disturbance of public order. The situation has become a point of contention in the community.
Well, listen, probably overall, how old was the kid? Like, you shouldn't be doing it for a kid anyhow.
Secondary school, yeah.
But then it's outside the school, so now everybody else's kids are subject to your parents'
Made this a problem.
Yeah.
But just in case those stories left a bad taste in your mouth,
thankfully, there's good news.
Over in Michigan, local wildlife authority had to intervene to help an animal in need. They had been made aware of a bear in the area that managed to get its head stuck in the lid of a container, but were unable to track the animal to give it the help that it needed. Basically, every time they knew where the animal was, by the time they got there, he was long since gone. Recently, a resident of the surrounding area alerted authorities that it was on their property, as it had been spotted on their camera, and they were able to arrive on the scene and help the bear out. They believe that someone had attempted to bait the bear to trap it, using a can filled with some sort of feed to attract it, but failed to maintain the code of keeping the hole small enough to where the bear wouldn't get its head stuck. I think you're supposed to get its paw suck or something like that, but he just went straight for it. Like they say, keep it within an inch diameter. This thing was 5, so that bear just stuck on in.
I can't get my head out.
I ate too much. I'm sorry. They say that while the bear had some scarring and an abscess on its neck, it is otherwise okay.
Yeah, I would think so.
Bear trapping. Men's Room Sports. Americans put up a good showing in the first game against the Twins last night to emerge victorious with an 11-2 score. Keep that energy, boys. Game 2 of that series is currently underway over on Root. You've also got WNBA basketball on as the Storm host the Indiana Fever over on CW later on tonight. The Fever.
The Fever covered the town.
As far as your weather, mainly cloudy and 56 degrees tonight. Makes way for a cloudy 68 degree tomorrow. And that'll do it for your headlines with that. Mike Hawk is out.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time for the return of Who Sucks Less. The lovely Jolene is up next.
Yes, indeed. It's all true. But in the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch. So until tomorrow, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network.
Oh, man!
A Double Flush production.
Presented by T-Mobile, the official wireless partner of Odyssey Sports. With an awesome network and great savings, there's never been a better time to join T-Mobile. Visit your neighborhood store to make the switch today.
Looking for a dealership that truly cares about you? Discover the difference at Toyota of Bellingham. Here, we prioritize on providing a world-class experience, not just making a sale. Toyota of Bellingham's mission? To build lasting relationships and be your go-to for all things automotive, sales, service, and parts. With a stellar 4.6 Google rating and being voted the best dealership in 3 counties for 4 consecutive years, we're dedicated to excellence. Toyota of Bellingham, where customer satisfaction drives us. Visit our showroom today or check us out online at toyotaofbellingham.com.